A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, enlightening television. Welcome. Time for the Ask Rebecca radio show with Rebecca Russo. Live from AskRebecca.guru. Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/psychic radio. Or one of our websites, askoneradio.com or moonstruck.tv. This is the Ask Rebecca radio show on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Ask Rebecca radio show. Thanks for joining me. I hope everyone is doing okay. It's been a very intense week with highs and lows mentally, physically, and emotionally. I feel everyone has been really busy with day-to-day life and needing to make decisions, all while reevaluating past choices or buried emotions. So before we get into the energies that you can expect for the month of March, the new 28-day moon cycle, and the week ahead, let's do a moment of Zen to clear some of the denser energies that you've been working through over the last week and integrate the new energies you'll be working with over the next few weeks. So close your eyes, open your palms, and allow yourself to be open to receive. I'm going to be connecting with your higher self and calling on your team of guides to help energetically clear any blocks, emotional residue, and or negative attachments in your physical body and light bodies. This will help raise your vibration, expand your consciousness, and increase your awareness in order to help you prepare your soul for ascension and the energies over the next several weeks. Take a deep breath in through your nose, then exhale through your mouth, and allow your body and mind to relax more on each exhalation. Continue to breathe this way until I tell you to open your eyes. All right, let's open your eyes and we are going to move on with the show. All right, so we are officially in March and still in Mercury retrograde until the 10th, with the post-shadow lasting through to March 20th. The emotional energies you've been feeling will be lasting through March, but the intensity will get balanced out by Mars and Venus in Earth signs. You'll continue to see a combination of seeds planted from the past sprouting and perhaps some unresolved things needing to be healed. And this month is also very much about needing to take action to manifest the things that you want in your life. It's so important that you take action steps. And sometimes we don't know what action step to take. That's okay. In those moments, maybe it's not necessary for you to take an action step, but the action step in itself would be you figuring out what the action step actually entails, right? So sometimes just making a list of things that you want to do and getting things out of your head and onto paper is enough of an action step. So again, it's all about action this month. These are strong possibilities of seeing major manifestations happening, especially if you are taking action steps in your life. Yet at the same time, you could still see some challenges arise, along with the need to just do some housekeeping or maintenance work to keep things running smoothly in your life until you feel guided to take real action, right? So sometimes it's just kind of maintaining, figuring things out, nurturing yourself, working through any kind of emotional blocks. Just doing that sort of action work will help you. This month is also the astrological new year during the time of the new moon right around March 24th, depending on where you live. And this is a great time to plant those seeds that you want to grow for the next year. Everything from material wishes to experiences to spiritual growth. You can use visualization exercises, vision boards, or any other method that resonates with you to help you connect with what it is that you want to create for yourself over the next year. It's a great time to do that because you've got the new moon energy, you've got the new astrological energies. So it's a really, really powerful time to do those kind of exercises. If you've been waiting to make important decisions or to launch something new due to Mercury retrograde, the best time would be between March 21st through April 9th. Then we go into Venus retrograde, and this year has lots of personal planets going retrograde, so there will be a lot of inner work that will be happening all year long. We will get small breaks in between these retrograde periods, and also just know that retrogrades aren't all bad, right? Bad things only happen when you put energy into that. So remember that you create your reality based on what you believe and where you focus your energy. If you believe retrogrades are just bad and they're horrible and, you know, the worst things always happen to you during Mercury retrograde, well, you're going to continue to manifest that, and that will be your experience every single time. Shift that perspective, shift that point of view, and then you can bring into your life some of the more positive aspects of Mercury retrograde and other personal planets that go retrograde. Do a little bit of research on that. Basically, here is how March will play out. The beginning and the end of March will kind of suck. Those will be the more challenging energies to deal with. And then the middle of the month is where all the good stuff happens. Now, of course, your personal chart is going to have a big impact as well. So depending on yours, you could experience the energies as something different, right? So maybe for you, the beginning of the month is awesome, but then the middle of the month sucks and the end is awesome. So really, it just all depends on your personal chart as well. March 7th begins the new 28-day moon cycle, according to the galactic calendar, which lasts until April 3rd. And this 28-day cycle is the solar moon of intention. And let me read it to you. Okay, so this particular moon is the go-to words are pulse, realize, intention. From the perception of the multisensory human, the intention behind an action determines its effects. Every intention affects both us and others, and the effects of intentions extend far beyond the physical world. And that is a quote by Gary Zukav. Tone 9, which is the 28-day moon cycle resonance, Tone 9 pulses the power of intention. Here we awaken to the realization of universal mind, which precedes and directs all manifestations of our physical world. We see the nonlinear emanations of consciousness which uphold this reality. We understand that information is perpetually sent and received by our biopsychic circuitry every moment, where we are aware of the experience or not. As the ancients say, whatever you put your attention on grows stronger in your life. Solar tone challenges harness energy information by directing it. Pulsing is a way to amplify or communicate using mental, emotional, and spiritual energy united. Exercise your natural ability to be in telepathic contact. It requires clarity, connection, and like our body's pulse, a steady, streaming surge of energy. Realize your vast capacity to broadcast your truths both subtly and physically. So that is really what you're going to be experiencing throughout the month with all these other planetary alignments and everything else that we've got going on. So it's going to be a crazy busy month of all sorts of action that's going to be happening. Lastly, before we get into the weeks ahead, we also have galactic portal activations on March 8th, 10th, 29th, and 30th. And these activation days invite you to enter gateways of expanded consciousness and amplify your awareness of energy flows and information exchange. And this, again, is tied right into manifestation and where you're putting your focus and your energy. And you can do a little bit of research on manifestation to kind of help guide you a little bit better. Okay. This week's intuitive messages will be for the next couple of weeks, since I will be unable to do the show live again until the end of March. So here's what you can expect from tonight, March 5th, through to March 26th as an overall theme, and then areas of love, work, finances, health, and spirituality. General themes. You could feel more sensitive and vulnerable than usual. Remember, there's going to be some high emotional days. Use them to your advantage, though, especially if you're artistic and creative. Use the fuel to create, visualize, and manifest. And this energy, too, is really great for probably having very vivid dreams. You will also be able to program your subconscious mind, which is really what creates your reality, when you lay down at night to go to sleep. So use that emotional energy to do visualization exercises of what it is that you want to manifest for yourself in your life, or what you want to heal, or what you want to work through, or what you want to become aware of within yourself. And if you do that as you're falling asleep, you're going to automatically program your subconscious mind, and you'll start to see these things play out in real time. Now, also with this emotional energy and your vulnerable state, you could have people pop up into your life who want to take advantage of your vulnerabilities. So pay attention to your surroundings, pay attention to the words that people are saying, the actions that they're doing. Really be present in the moment so that you can be aware of if someone is trying to take advantage of you. There could be major challenges around emotions, romance, and financial security. At the same time, there will be innovative solutions to make life better. There will be happy, pleasant surprises with lots of positive excitement in these areas. But again, there could also be drama, completion, fruition in health, work, love, pets, and your daily routine. And because the energy is so mixed, you could start off the beginning of the month in more of the dramatic state of emotional low, where you're dealing with maybe some sadness and guilt and things of those nature. And then by the end, or by the middle of the month, you're feeling really, really good, and you've kind of worked through those emotions, and you're manifesting some amazing things in your life. And then by the end of the month, you could have to kind of reevaluate those things again. Maybe you get triggered in a different way, so something deeper can be healed as well. You could see delays and changes to plans thanks to Mercury retrograde energies, so be flexible and open to anything that pops up for you. There will be lots of spiritual growth, synchronicities, blessings, and being in the flow. You could feel more optimistic and hopeful about the future and everything else going on in your life. Your financial worries may be over for a while, or at least in the middle of the month. But I do feel like most people are moving into a positive cycle financially. And you may experience more happiness and success, both internally and externally. Some of you will be in a position to help others who are less fortunate, so make sure that you're doing that. And that doesn't always mean financially. That could be with your time and your energy and your, giving somebody a ride, anything. So again, share your time, your love, your compassion, your understanding. Give back in whatever way that you've been receiving. You can receive support emotionally and financially, which could help relieve some burdens and heal some old wounds. You could get a boost in energy, focus, organization, and just getting things accomplished. There's a lot of powerful energy that's going to have you motivated to get things done, which is great. I'm waiting for that energy. I mean, I've been going, but at the same time, I don't feel the momentum that I usually do. And I'm looking forward to this extra boost in energy so that I can get stuff done because my life is incredibly busy right now. This month, you may be evaluating, you may be examining or looking at things more closely in your life and within yourself. So you're really going to be doing this externally and internally. You may also receive some constructive criticism. Either way, this energy is about you making necessary changes in the way that you see, feel, and experience things, along with physical changes in your environment, people, work, love, relationships, all of the above. Do the work and you can see some amazing things manifesting in your life. Catch my breath there for a minute. Saturn enters Aquarius until March 2023. And Saturn can be a little oppressive. It's been in Capricorn since December 2017, which may have had you feeling very oppressed and very heavy. It could have been a very challenging time period for you in relationships and in your life as a whole. Now, Saturn is moving into Aquarius, and you'll see changes in your life with technology, friendships, social circles, and your place in them. And due to the energies, it's going to feel like you're being tested. It really is kind of like a testing ground, and there's going to be challenges in these areas of your life. Some of your relationships and friendships, those will strengthen if they pass the test, and others will fade away. And some of you could already be experiencing this energy now. A lot of these aspects with the planets come about, we start feeling them much earlier depending on how sensitive you are. One of the more negative aspects that you could see happening is lots of people being triggered emotionally who could be on the verge of a breakdown. And it feels like an intense breakdown. So I recommend that you don't aggravate a situation if you come into contact with a person that you can see is really being triggered in a negative way. This is not the time to make matters worse through bad communication or projection of blame or letting your ego get in the way. It could get dangerous. And I'm not trying to fearmonger here, but this is a real reality. People are loose cannons right now. The energies are very intense, and if they're not dealing with their stuff, they don't understand what's happening. It's not being discussed in the mainstream. So a lot of people are getting triggered, and you see it happen, road rage, they're shooting up people and all kinds of crazy stuff. So make sure that, again, you are paying attention, you're becoming aware of yourself, you're becoming aware of others, you're paying attention to your surroundings. Make sure that you take the blinders off. Some of you could be dealing with a woman in your life who has dark hair and or dark eyes, who isn't very kind and may block important things from getting accomplished this month. Perhaps she's doing it without realizing it. Perhaps she does realize it. I think it's a little bit different for everybody. For others, this could manifest through stumbling blocks created by other people. And then there's another group of you that you are the ones creating these blocks, right? You're the one creating your own stumbling block. My gosh, can't talk. Check in with yourself. Do you behave in ways that people find rude or harsh? Are you self-sabotaging without realizing it? If you don't know, ask someone who will be honest with you and tell you the truth about what they see or how they perceive you. It's better to know than be in denial, right? You want to be working on yourself. It's a very important time to be doing this. This is all part of the ascension process that I've talked about before. This month, you really need to be paying attention while driving and your surroundings in general. Again, accidents can and will happen, especially if your eyes are buried in your cell phone. Don't text and drive. Come on. The text is not that important. You're telling me you cannot wait till you get down the street somewhere or get to a stoplight. Don't be desperate to answer text messages and stuff. Really, honestly, like, you can respond when you have time and you're safe and you're not potentially killing yourself or somebody else. So really pay attention. I just feel like that's a very important message for some of you right now. Old hurts could come up big time, especially towards the end of the month, and for some of you throughout the month. Chiron, the wounded healer, will be playing a significant role, and just feel what you need, take responsibility for your part, and let it go so that you can shift easily. Fearlessness will be another theme. I pulled a card for you guys from my deck that I have from Peru, and the card was fearlessness. And it says fearlessness isn't the absence of fear, it's being aware of the undercurrents of fear, either within ourselves or being promulgated in the world, and then making the conscious choice not to be affected, restricted, or influenced by fear so that you can step forward with an open heart aligned with oneness. It's choosing love as our motivating force. It's now time to examine yourself and see if you are being affected by any residue of fear. If so, then realign with the one and courageously step into fearlessness. I get it. Things can be scary, especially when we're taking huge leaps in our lives and we're trying to make changes for the better. Fear comes along with that, right? But again, let it motivate you to your greatness, and focus on love, and just realize that there is a solution for every problem that you have. There really is. You just have to want to have a solution or find the solution. So yeah, work through that fear, guys. It's not as bad as you think. The advice coming through for the month is to choose your battles wisely. Don't waste your energy fighting small annoyances. It's time for a major readjustment of your priorities. And obviously that's what the energies point to. And that's what they're going to continue to point to, is us really having to make changes and readjustments in our lives and figuring out what our priorities are. Work, for those of you that are employed, some of you can expect a change for the better in your situation and your pay. You'll have a lot to be grateful for. On the other hand, some could experience communication problems at work between people and computers. So it kind of feels like maybe data issues in the computers. And then with people, it's just misunderstandings, misinterpreting things. Basically, it's the information that's being shared could be misunderstood or misinterpreted. Don't assume anything, ask questions, get clear about the information. Work, for those of you that are looking for a job hunters, I feel the same holds true for you with information being misunderstood or misinterpreted in an interview. So make sure that you're asking questions, and make sure you have clear answers to questions that the interviewer may have for you. Some of you will be finding and or starting new jobs this month. I feel lots of positive energy surrounding this. And I do feel there's a possibility a few might lose their jobs, but I really feel like that will only happen if you've kind of been slacking, or the universe is trying to move you and you've been sticking in a job that you know is time to move on. Love, for those of you in committed relationships or dating seriously, some of you will experience new levels of intimacy, joy, and connection in your relationships. Some of you may be having misunderstandings and or not being open to hearing your partner's point of view. Make sure you do, because you want them to hear you, right? Some of you could get into arguments or disagreements over something that you misperceived, right? So it's either your memory or your perception of a situation or what was said is actually incorrect. You completely saw it through the lens of your pain, and it wasn't the reality of the situation. So you could be having an argument over nothing. So really just kind of listen to what your partner has to say and what their perspective is. And some of you could be on the receiving end of this energy as well. Singles, careful with assumptions on dates. Some of you may have to work harder than usual to try and understand someone's perspective. I don't think that's a bad thing, right? I always like to seek to understand first before asking to be understood. It just makes for a better interaction with people. And some of you could see someone new come into your life who is definitely ready to have a meaningful and deep connection. So make sure that you are putting yourself out there, and you're checking out new places, you're saying yes to invitations to go do things, because again, the energy is really prime for some love connections here. Finances, some of you are moving into a positive financial cycle. Some of you will be evaluating your financial situation and what changes you need to make. And some of you may find financial errors or on transactions or catch a mistake that you made. So again, pay attention, because otherwise you may lose money, right? Somebody could overcharge you for something. The bank could do an overdraft by a mistake. There's different things that could happen. So make sure you're paying attention so you don't lose money. Lastly, a little reminder coming through to look at your riches in other ways besides money, right? You're abundant in other ways. You love, family, friends, health. I mean, there's a number of things that can have abundance in your life besides cash money. Health. You should be feeling full of vitality, optimism, and hope. If you're waiting on test results, the news will be good. A reminder that thoughts are things and they will affect your health. Example, negative thoughts like worrying cause stress, which causes inflammation, high blood pressure, and a number of other illnesses. So remember, whatever you're thinking about and stressing out about and worrying about, if it hasn't happened yet, you're causing yourself undue stress. Really get in control of your thoughts and what you're thinking and shift your perception. Remember, there's always a solution. Okay. Also a reminder for some of you needing to take medication or your vitamins. I feel like some of you are neglecting yourself with that. And I also feel like you or someone in your family, there may be concerns over memory function. Maybe someone is starting to show some signs of dementia or Alzheimer's, or maybe somebody in your life smoking a little too much pot and they're forgetting stuff, right? So it just feels like there's some memory issues that are happening here. Spirituality, some of you will be feeling spiritual peace and happiness. Your self-esteem will be higher as well. Share your happiness and spiritual insights with others. And some of you may have a strong woman come into your life who may be difficult to deal with, or is negative in some way, or has a tendency to be hurtful, whether she means to or not. She's showing you how not to be, act, or treat people. So learn from her and then set boundaries. All right, that wraps up the intuitive messages for the next couple of weeks. I hope everyone has a great month. I'm sending you lots of positive vibes and good feelings and all that jazz. And I'll see you back here on March 26th. Bye.
listening to A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, Enlightening Television. Welcome. Time for a gateway to the spirit world with Gail Moffat. Live from GailMoffat.com. Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/psychic radio. Or one of our websites, askoneradio.com or moonstruck.tv. This is a gateway to the spirit world on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Hello and welcome to this week's show. This is a gateway to the spirit world, and my name is Gail Moffat, and it also goes on Moonstruck TV, and you can see the sort of shows afterwards on the A1R Facebook page. So it's all good. There's many opportunities to watch again. Now, I was just thinking, as usual, I always like to do a little chat, a little sort of talk, spiritual talk, just to get us all in the mood for the two callers that will be calling in shortly. Now, I think we can't sort of, move fairly forward without mentioning what's going on in the world at the moment, the COVID-19 coronavirus. And, I know that sort of in America that they've had some quite sort of strict measures, and the UK has been lagging a little bit behind. But we're now, as of yesterday, we've been advised to not go to gatherings and pubs and clubs and gatherings and restaurants and cafes and churches. We're not in a lockdown, but it's just an advice. So I don't know how people are going to respond to this. And I think that one of the things that is quite sort of, we're all on a spiritual journey. We're all in this life, and we're all, learning our lessons, and we're all ostensibly on this journey. And this journey in the moment potentially is quite challenging for some people. They may have their own businesses, or they may sort of say, let's say they work for an airline or work for an industry that is completely falling apart because of what's happening around the world. And I think that we have to put our thoughts out there, and also our prayers to those people that are struggling as a result economically of this. But not only is it just about the economics, one of the things that, as a healer, I have made a point of on a daily basis, I sit for an hour. Sometimes it's an hour and 15 minutes, sometimes it's an hour and a half, but a minimum of about an hour, where I will look to invite my guides, my healing guides, and also God who works with me, and to sort of send out healing to the world, and send out healing to the people that are affected by the coronavirus. And this is something that I will continue to do. If there is anybody that specifically has a need from a healing point of view, please contact me on Facebook. My name is Gail Moffat, and just sort of, ask for healing and send in that message, because, and I'll put you on my healing list and send healing to you. And that needn't be just because of the coronavirus. It could be of another issue. But, I would be more than happy to do that for anybody that has a need at this point in time. Now, I know that we have some callers waiting, and I'm going to go to the callers. But just before we go to the callers, don't forget, you can find me on Gail Moffat on Facebook, and you can also, don't forget, if you need healing, whether it be for the coronavirus or anything else that is going on, please let me know your names, and I'll put you on my healing list when I send out healing. So I believe we have Helena in Bideford in Devon. Are you there, Helena?
Yes, I am.
I am insanely jealous that you live in Devon. not in a negative way, but just in a fun way. I love Devon. You're very lucky to live there. Do you like it as much as I do?
Yes, it's nice.
So I am a medium, and I can connect with my guides and give you guidance, or I can look to connect to a loved one that's in spirit. Is there a particular way that you would like me to work?
No, whichever you feel best.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, I'm getting all sorts of information all at the same time. So, right, okay. First of all, I feel that there is a grandmother in the spirit world, and then she came in and she suddenly showed to me in my clairvoyance. I felt like it was sort of a young man, and so I don't know whether what she was saying is there is a young man in spirit, or there's something that she wants to talk about, particularly pertaining to a young man that may have some problems around you. Does that make sense in any way to you, Helena?
Yes, possibly my brother.
And this is your brother in spirit or here?
No, here.
Here. Because she literally came in and she just like showed me this man that she feels is she's making me feel like he's troubled in his mind. Would that make sense to you?
Yeah, possibly.
And she's wanting to say that she's been around your brother, and she's been around him for quite a few weeks, because she's saying that he is. It's almost like he feels sort of overwhelmed with his circumstances in his life, because she's making me feel that he is almost like he doesn't know whether to turn left or right or go forward. He's troubled by lots of circumstances, and she's making me feel that she has witnessed in his private moments, just on his own, that he has been a little bit sorrowful, or perhaps sort of, had a little on his own, because she's saying that he feels that he is perhaps because of certain circumstances, that he feels as though he's letting certain people down, and he is and he doesn't know how to resolve certain things. Would that make sense to you?
Yes, it does. Yes.
So what I'm told by your grandmother is that she's going to be doing her utmost to sort of almost lift his spirits and support him through this. She's saying to me that she's sort of got in a sort of little smile, but she makes me feel like your brother was a little bit of the naughty one when he was younger. Would that make sense to you? And she makes me feel
not overly,
like
no.
Pardon?
Not really overly, no.
She makes me feel like he was the one that she was concerned about then, because I feel like there was always sort of a little bit of concern for him, where she felt that you were always okay. Would that make sense?
Yeah.
And she's saying to me that he's quite a sensitive soul as well, that he and so things that can be said or things that are done can hurt him deeply, because he can get easily quite emotional about things, she's first of all, she's asking me specifically. I don't know if you were hearing, I was talking about healing. She's asked me to send some healing to him. Now, healing comes in many ways. It can be emotional, it can be physical, it can be, whatever is needed. But she's asking me specifically to send in some healing. So if you give me his name, I will make sure that I put him on my list. And she's also saying that she's been trying hard to lift him up as well. Yeah, I just feel very, very emotional with regards to him. She's saying that with yourself, she's making me feel as though you're there's a little bit of indecisiveness with you as to I can't quite pin it down right now, so it's just very loose at the moment, but I just get this feeling that there's a little bit of sort of, shall I do this or shall I do that, or what shall I do, and she's just making me feel like you've been sort of whirring things around in your mind as to sort of, what to do in your life. And she's just letting you know that she's aware of your thoughts. Okay. And she's drawing my attention to your father. Is your father still here with us?
No, he's not.
Okay. But she's drawing my attention to your father, and that would make sense actually, because as I'm sort of connecting. I'm aware that he's just stepped forward, okay. And he's very, very emotional as he steps forward, because I feel that this is and he makes me feel like he's a little bit unsteady on his feet, and I think that what he's doing is he's showing himself how he was, before he passed, but he's saying to me that he. I feel that he has some sort of concerns as to how he was when he was here, because he makes me feel that he wasn't always the kindest of fathers. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
And he's making me feel that he. When he looks at you, he makes me feel that you're that you have you've got some wounds with regards to his actions, because he's making me feel like, when he was younger and a bit more fitter, he was quite selfish and quite sort of didn't sort of give much concern to sort of other people in his life, and I feel that he has some deep regrets for how he has behaved, and he's saying to me that he specifically would like to apologize to you for his behavior, and he also wants to apologize to your brother, because he's saying that your brother is also wounded by his behaviour, and he makes me feel like your brother is more wounded than you, like you've got a level of coping and a little bit stronger than he is, and he hasn't coped with the roots of his sensitivity is rooted in your father, and I'm being told that okay, so I'm just asking if one of my guides could come forward and just sort of give some words as well in addition to this, because I feel like some real great healing needs to go to your brother. And your father says specifically he would love it if you could let him know how sorry he is for his actions, and he's really sorrowful and quite emotional as he says this, because he feels like he's let, he not only let both of you down, but he feels like that, like your brother is more affected. And he's also drawing my attention to your mother as well. Is your mother here?
Yeah, she's here, yeah.
Right. Because he's making me feel like he was quite almost like oppressive or dominant with her, or didn't really give her the freedom in life that she would have liked to have had. And again, I feel that he's very sorry to her, and would like his apologies be told to her. And he's just saying to me that if there was anything that he could do to turn the clock back and put things right, he would. But he feels a little bit sort of helpless, and he doesn't know how to sort of put things right, except just come forward today and apologise for his actions. I hope that helps. And I just feel like there's a sense of urgency with your brother for him to be healed from his actions. So I hope that helps. And I just want to say, if you give me your brother's name, I will put him on my healing list. If that's something, would you like to do that?
Yeah. His name's Tom Ford.
Pardon?
Tom Thorpe.
Tom Thorpe.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll put him on the healing list. I hope that helps, and thank you so much for coming in. Now, remember, you can find a repeat of this video that we're doing today on the A1R Psychic Radio page, so you can watch it there, and then eventually I'll put it on my page as well. So you can see it again if you need to. And but thank you very much for ringing in. Thank you. Right, I have Xenia. Are you Sierra? Are you there?
Yeah.
Hello.
Yes.
And so I the show, and I am a medium, and I can either sort of connect to loved ones in spirit, or I can connect with my guides and give you guidance. Is there a particular way that you'd like me to work?
Guidance would be nice.
Guidance. And is there somewhere that you'd like me to focus?
Career, family.
Okay. As you said, family, I just want to go straight to family, because I feel like that's quite sort of relevant here. And I feel like I want to go to I feel like I want to go to one of your family members, and I feel like he's male, and he feels like he could be a father, but I'm not quite sure yet. But it will be revealed to me as time goes by. It's either a father or a brother, or somebody that's close, that's male in your family, and I'm being drawn to him. And one of the things that I would like to say here is that I feel that yourself in your family, it hasn't always been easy in the dynamics of your family. Would that make sense to you, Sierra?
Yes. Yes.
Would I be right in saying that there is a male that hasn't made things easy for other people in the family? Would you understand that?
Yes.
And I feel I have a grandmother, and when I get a grandmother, that could be a great grandmother or a grandmother, I'm not sure. But I feel that this is on your father's side is where I'm going, and I know with this lady that it's almost like she wants to stamp her feet and she's really quite angry with how people are being treated in your family. And I feel that it's to do with it. She makes me feel like it's your father. Would that make sense to you?
Yes, sounds like my grandmother.
Pardon?
Yes, it sounds like my grandmother.
And she's quite cross with him. She's saying to me, I never brought him up to behave in such a terrible way. I never, she's like really cross, like, what is he doing? And how is he behaving? This is terrible. And she's like really getting quite sort of agitated and sort of cross with me as she's talking about, your father and what he's doing. And she's telling me that it's made you feel as though you are, it's affected you emotionally. It's affected you in your sensitivity, and it's made you feel a little bit insecure in your life. And there's nothing wrong with feeling insecure, because that's just a set of circumstances that's led you to this position. And I'm just being told that your grandmother is very, very keen to alleviate the stress and the distress that you are under, because she feels that this has to stop. This has to stop. She's really quite agitated and quite frankly, she's quite angry as well. And she's telling me that are you still in an educational setting or in any way? Does that make sense to you?
I'm doing school online.
You're doing?
I do school online.
School online, okay. Okay, because she was showing me a school, an educational setting, and she's saying to me that she feels that sort of it's almost like she's pushing you to get through this as quickly as possible, like get through this. She's pushing you, and she really wants you to sort of succeed and survive this whole ordeal, because she feels that the sooner you find independence and freedom from your family setting, the better it will be for you.
Right.
Also, are you interested in a relationship with somebody, or maybe you're in a relationship? Because I'm sensing somebody around you. Does that make sense?
Yes, I'm supposed to be in a relationship.
When you say supposed to be, I was wondering what that means.
I don't know if I can. I mean, I trust him, but something in me tells me don't.
Yeah. Okay. Sometimes I think we should trust our instincts, because I'm being drawn to a relationship and this is coming from your grandmother. She's telling me about this relationship, and she's saying to me that he is somebody that can be all sort of we have an expression in England, sort of all lovey-dovey, sort of like he's says all the right things and very loving and nice. And then the next minute, there's a sort of a silence, or he's not around, or he's busy, or and she makes me feel as though it's sort of up and down. Would that make sense to you?
Yes.
And she's telling me that you've been particularly frustrated with him, and sort of, like, why are you doing this? Why, what's wrong? And why, one moment this and one moment that. And she's telling me that you have been looking to have some sort of explanation from him, and he hasn't been prepared to give that any sort of explanation. And she's saying to me that, oh dear, I hate it when they do this to me. She's saying to me, so what you've got to remember is, before I tell you what she's saying, is I want you to know that, we like to say, we like to cover ourselves as mediums. This is for entertainment purposes and sort of guidance only. And you have to sort of trust your instincts and go in the direction that you want to go. And, sometimes mediums get things wrong. So just remember that as I go to the next part. But she's saying you're right to doubt him. And she doesn't feel very positive about him, or doesn't have many good words to say about him, and it's like she doesn't like him. But again, that's her opinion. I've had boyfriends in the past where my dad didn't like them, or he never liked anyone actually. But
that's how mine is.
And so the older generation, they generally have an opinion, and perhaps they don't take the time out to know somebody. So I just want to sort of put that caveat in, and because I know that, you have to make this decision. But this is exactly what I'm getting from her. She's saying that she has doubts about him being the right person for you moving forward. And she's warning you to be careful about him, and almost like she's saying, hold back a little bit so that your emotions are protected. Because she says that she's saying to me that things will come to light that you won't be too happy with. And it's a way of her saying that she wants to sort of protect you.
Okay.
Have you got a sister?
Yes.
Okay, because she's drawing my attention to a sister, and she's saying to me that I feel like one of you, and I feel drawn to your sister, that she is perhaps quite bubbly. Would that make sense to you?
Yes.
Quite sort of full of fun and laughter, and she's very, very funny. And your grandmother is sort of admiring her personality, and she watches both of you giggle, because you giggle a lot. And she's saying to me that also she's telling me that you like music as well, and I know that music is a major part of you, and I feel that you have some sort of headphones or earpiece where you listen to music, and I know that music is a major part of your life. Saying to me, remember, Sierra, I will always be in your life, and I will always be here to guide you, and I will never leave your side until it's time for you to come over to Spirit. She wants to protect you so much, and I feel like there is such an enormous strong love for you, and she says she doesn't want you to suffer anymore. She wants you to, the moment you get freedom, she wants you to go out there and fly.
to A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, Enlightening Television. Welcome. Time for Amanda Hall Psychic with Amanda Hall. Live from AmandaHallPsychic.com.au. Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/psychic radio. Or one of our websites, askoneradio.com or moonstruck.tv. This is Amanda Hall Psych on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Welcome to Amanda Hall Psychic here on Moonstruck TV and A1R Psychic Radio. So wherever you're tuning in around this amazing globe of ours, I hope you're actually feeling well. I know that there's a lot of people that are feeling very, very anxious at the moment, and some people aren't well, and some people are at home self-isolating or quarantining themselves as a precaution. Whatever you happen to be doing to try and sort of stave off this COVID-19 virus, then keep doing it. But we'll talk a little bit more about that. Now I want to just kick the show off with our Secrets of Tarot card of the week, as we do every week. And this week it's the Eight of Pentacles. Now, you might say that this is a rather ambiguous card or a rather peculiar card to have come out for the card of the week when so many people aren't actually going to work through their paid employment. It is the card of work, and it is also the card of paid work. But when we use the term work in this, first and foremost, it means that we have some sort of hard work to do on a project. It doesn't necessarily mean our day job that we go to or the job that we go to that we get paid for. This means we all have to work hard on making changes or bringing about change in our lives. So I think it's actually probably a very apt card at the moment, because lots of people are scurrying around and trying to get their lives in order, ready for in case for some reason that they might have to self-isolate or take some downtime from work, and organising family and childcare and how to sort of best get through this worldwide pandemic. And it's really sort of interesting to see how people as human beings are reacting to this, and different countries around the world are reacting in different ways. I know here in Australia it's been a very panic sort of situation. Everybody's very fearful and stripping supermarket shelves and things like that as if the world's coming to an end. And I think that's probably the work that we all need to do on ourselves, is to just chill a little bit. Take a couple of deep breaths, slow down, look at the reality of what the situation is. The worst possible case scenario is you'll get the COVID-19 virus. If so, then you're either going to go to a medical institution and be hospitalised, or you're going to need to self-quarantine. So if that's the case, the recommendation at the moment is 14 days. So if we all look upon the score that the only amount of food and supplies we need is for 14 days maximum, most of us would probably find in our cupboards we could survive for 14 days if we wanted to, or we needed to. We mightn't necessarily be eating gourmet meals, but none of us would starve. Most of us have enough store cupboard supplies to scratch together a meal of some description. And if you're not feeling well, you're not going to be wanting to eat a gourmet meal anyway. So I think we all need to just sort of take a couple of deep breaths, calm down, and start to sort of put together a plan of action. And that's what I feel this card means this week for everybody. So I want to quickly get through the candle of the week so that we can then sort of talk about astrologically how this pandemic is affecting the world. So obviously I've chosen the healing candle this week. I've had a healing candle burning now for a couple of weeks, as much as I possibly can, and collectively putting the globe into it. Not just myself and my immediate family and my friends, but everybody, so that everybody can sort of feel the healing sort of energy coming. And I think collectively we can all do that, even if it's only focusing for a couple of minutes in a meditative state, or looking at a candle if we've got one that we can burn, and just send healing to the world. I think if we all band together, I'm a firm believer in the power of positivity and prayer and things like that. And this is another form of prayer. If we were all collectively spend a few minutes a day trying to send some healing energy around the world, I'm sure we're going to make a big difference. So for those of you that might want to travel, kid, I've made it up this week of travel, also love and healing, because I've chosen the travel card because I feel that encompasses the whole world. And I do feel that we all need so much more love and understanding at the moment to help people through this crisis, and to sort of understand that people are going to be a little bit short-tempered, not themselves, because they don't know what to do. They're frightened, they're concerned about money, they're concerned about their loved ones, and they're concerned about their own health. And then finally, the healing candle. So now let's move on astrologically to what I sort of feel as being a professional astrologer for close on 40 years now. And it's not sort of normally an area that I work with in looking at how we, are predicting a health sort of situation. That's a very specialised area of astrology, and that usually comes back to an individual chart. But what I've done is collectively looked at where the planet placements are today, just prior to the show, so that I can sort of talk as much as I can up to the minute of what I'm seeing. Now, on an astrological level, we have a plethora of planets sitting in Capricorn at the moment. Now, the Capricorn energy is an earth energy, so it's practical, logical, down-to-earth, grounding, stability. It also governs big business, government, and anything official. Now, that brings in hospitals, the medical fraternity, anybody that works in a health or service industry that is connected with our physical health, not so much our emotional health, but our physical health. Yes, our emotional health needs looking after too, and it does come under this category, but not quite as strongly as it does when I say the Capricorn energy really does govern things like hospitals, nursing homes, health facilities, doctors, places that we go to get medical help. Now, with the plethora of planets and some of the other luminaries and some of the other parts that we add in astrology in a more advanced way, and I'm going to include those in my report this week so that you can understand a little bit better, I suppose, why people are panicking so much. Why has there been such a shift of energy in the last week? Why is all of a sudden we're getting more information being shared with us than what we were previously? All of a sudden, governments and officials are now sort of opening up and being what we see as being a little bit more transparent and opening up with better suggestions and giving us more information. Well, number one, Mercury, the planet of communication, finished going retrograde less than 7 days ago. And if you watched the show last week, I said that once that planet went really, really direct, not just sitting in the stationary position, we would get a flood of information, which is exactly what we did. So Mercury has been going direct now for about 4 or 5 days. So this is why all of a sudden the floodgates of information opened up. But I want to focus on the energies that are sitting in Capricorn. Now, it's a very lengthy sort of segment with the amount of planets I'm going to talk about that are sitting in Capricorn. So first and foremost, we've got the moon's south node. Now, the south node is not a planet, but this shows us in the chart where we look at things to take the easy way out. Now, it's the first part of this. Taking the easy way out would be ignoring it, would be not acknowledging the fact that this is a worldwide pandemic and we all need to be on board. We all need to be vigilant. We all need to be following good health and hygiene practices no matter who you are and where you live in the world. The next planet that's coming out, that these are all literally holding hands with each other and they're all sitting in this one piece of pie, if you want to put it that way, is the moon. Now, the moon moves very fast. It only stays in a sign for about 2.5 days. So at the moment, it's in Capricorn. So hopefully this, in the next 24 to 48 hours, is going to calm people's nervous systems down just a little bit, where we can maybe get a little bit of practicality and not this worldwide panic that everybody seems to have gone into. Maybe we can get a little bit more common sense, take a breath and say, okay, it's time to calm down a little bit. Now, the next one that's holding hands with this is what's known in advanced circles in astrology as the part of fortune. So this is sort of like an asteroid or an outside planet, if you want to call it that way, And it's where we find the good fortune in the chart. Now, I feel this is very apt that the part of fortune is sitting in between the moon and the planet Mars. So that it's the emotional versus the planet of action, or the planet that we look to use to go to war or motivate us to get up off the couch. So to me, I feel by everybody starting to sort of calm down, become a little bit more rational, maybe then we'll find our part of fortune, which isn't about money, but we'll find some breakthroughs or some directions moving forward that we will be able to proceed with as a world, as a collective, to be able to find ways to combat this or to minimise the risk of this spread. And I think a lot of that is being shown by world leaders shutting their borders, not allowing people to travel and move around as freely as what they did. And if that means foregoing some sporting events, some rock concerts, some people gathering in large quantities to be able to sort of slow the momentum down of this pandemic, then that's what it's going to take. I know that there's many parts of the world where people are in complete and utter shutdown and lockdown, and they're not allowed to attend anything. Here in Australia, every hour something more is being taken away from us, and people are panicking more, as I'm sure they are in your local environment. But can I stress, this is for our betterment. This is to try and minimise the risk to everybody, not just a select few people in your environment. It's for everybody's benefit. So if we can collectively harness the energy of Mars, the planet of war, but it's also the planet of action and taking decisive action and saying, right, I'm ready to fight this head on, then I feel we have a very, very fighting chance of bringing this pandemic under control much quicker than we could have done if governments collectively around the world and nations didn't act as fast as they could. This could have been more catastrophic. So even though it may be a disruption and it may be scary and it may be unnerving and you feel very stressed, just know that everybody seems to be acting in the best interest of all of us to curb this as quickly as possible. Now, the next planet we have is the planet Jupiter. Now, Jupiter is the planet of expansion and opportunity. I was really pleased to see this sitting next to Mars, because that means to me that things are going to move very quickly. They're going to be able to expand and bring in protocols and procedures that I'm sure governments around the world have had these things. They've practiced them before in the hope of never having to use them in the case of a pandemic or a worldwide illness. So they're very, very well prepared. It's just now a matter of implementing them, looking at how they can keep economies stimulated and financially moving, and try and minimise job losses. Now, the next planet is Pluto, the planet of transformation, and those that watch the show regularly will know I often talk about Pluto. Pluto's been sitting in Capricorn now for a very long time. We'll still be there till about early 2022. So he's on the tail end of trying to completely transform us, of asking us all to release anything that we no longer need, and we need to collectively as a globe start to structure our world in a different way. And this is part of the slow but definite lessons of Pluto, is that we cannot continue to go on treating the globe as we have done, whether it's from the way that we've ignored, Mother Nature, and, global warming is starting to take effect. And it's also asking us, I think, to restructure the way we do things financially, and looking at the things that are more important to us in our lives. Is it money, or is it our family, our friends, and our health? And I think we're going to see a very, very big shift over the remainder of 2020 as people start to reassess and reset their goals of what and how they want to live their lives. Now, the final planet here is Saturn, the planet of discipline. Now, Saturn sits in a sign for approximately 2.5 years. Now, he's on the last couple of degrees of sitting in Capricorn. So Saturn's basically saying to us, I've already given you all the lessons. I've already waved the big stick. I've jumped up and down. I've said to you, take notice of this and that and the other. If you haven't, then now this is the result of things. So I actually sort of feel with Saturn sitting here as the last planet, I'm actually quite pleased, because to me, I feel he's saying to each and every one of us, you have the tools to get through this crisis. You have the ability, if you just slow down, take a couple of deep breaths, look at this in a very logical, practical sort of manner, try and take your emotion out of the situation, and then each and every one of us will come out the other side of this situation in a much stronger, much better way, and we'll have maybe a different value system in ways that we will look towards our own futures in time to come. Now, I know the other big question besides the pandemic is the world going into a global recession? And look, my inbox has been full between questions on the COVID-19 virus and the fact of a recession, and are we heading towards a depression? So I did actually, before the show, have a look at where the planets were astrologically when the stock market crashed in 1929 to see whether or not there was any similarities that I could turn around and say to you, well, yes, okay, it looks like from an astrological standpoint we're heading towards another Great Depression. Well, I'm very excited and pleased to say I didn't see any correlation. I actually feel we're in much better shape than what they were back in 1929. The only thing that I could say to you that is very similar, and it wasn't in 1929, it was in 1936, was the planet Uranus was also sitting in Taurus at that time, but it wasn't until 1936. In 1929, it was sitting in Aries. So there was really nothing I could say. The only things that I could say to you that might sort of correlate in a very vague way was where we have Pluto in Capricorn now and has been there for a very, very long time. Back in 1929, Pluto was in the exact opposite sign of Cancer, where it was asking us to focus more on our families, our immediate environment, and shoring up our family home and our family finances. Now, Pluto's asking us to shore up the world. So it's a very different placement. The planet Neptune was also then in 1929, was in the opposite sign by exactly 6 signs from where it sits currently in Pisces, which is asking us to be more flexible, to find intuitive, different sort of ways to find solutions to problems. Then it was in Virgo, where it was saying to us that the way that we approached our work would have to be restructured. We would have to come up with some creative solutions. So what they did back in the Depression was when they started to build major highways around continents and countries and things like that, the government had to restructure and find big projects to try and keep people in employment. So I hope that's helped you. We're going to take our first caller, which is Jessica in Litchfield in North Dakota. Are you there, Jessica? Not yet. Well, we're just waiting for Jessica to pick up the phone so that we can talk with Jessica. I do apologise that I've seemed to have gone on a lot about the astrological side of things, but I felt that was important because I'd had so many messages and from people asking me, could I focus on that a little bit more? So it was important to sort of try and calm the fear and everybody's hysteria down a little bit. If I've been able to do that, well, then that's a good thing. So we're still waiting for Jessica. So I'll just keep talking until we have Jessica coming back on the line. So I hope wherever you are in this amazing planet of ours that you've started to sort of take a little bit of time and breathe and sort of look at where you want your life to be going for the remainder of this year, because it is important that you use this time to maybe sort of find some inspiration, to find what really makes your soul sing. And I think that's very important. We're so busy in our day-to-day lives running from this and that and the other and trying to keep a house and a roof over our head and, making sure we've got a nice car to drive and good food on the table and keeping up with the latest fashion or whatever might be important to you, that I don't think we have enough time to just sort of stop and breathe and reassess that where we're going and sort of look at what is really, really important to us. And really what's important to us at the end of the day is having your health, having some personal happiness and being with the people that you love and that you care about. We're going to move on. We've lost Jessica. We're going to move on to Chelsea in London in England. Are you there, Chelsea?
I am, yes.
Do you have a question I can work with, please, today, Chelsea?
I was just wondering about my current relationship at the minute.
Okay. Do you mind sharing with me the person's first name, sweetie, so I can tune into them?
Sorry? His name?
Yeah, just his first name, sweetie. Yes, please.
Adam.
Adam, okay. Very, very interesting. I feel that Adam's going through a lot of changes at the moment. Do you sort of feel in the last few weeks that he's been sort of, I was going to say standoffish a little bit, sort of like a little bit distant, as if he's preoccupied trying to sort out a lot of what's going on in his life at the moment. He sort of feels as if he's got to reorganise things. I don't think Adam copes that well with having to make major decisions. It's sort of like he tenses sort of up and sort of doesn't know what to do and sort of shuts the world out. Is that how you sort of feel? He's been shutting you out a little bit?
Yep.
Yeah. Look, darling, I don't think that's intentional. I think it's just that he's trying to sort through what's the next steps of his life. And I do feel that he's not overly happy with the job that he's got at the moment. He sort of feels as if there could be something more that he should be doing than what he's been doing. So has he talked to you about the potential of maybe changing his job?
He's just lost his job.
Okay, but is he starting another one?
Not that I know of, no.
Okay. Look, I don't feel it's going to be that long before there will be another job. And I just sort of feel once we get him back into some different type of employment to where he's just left, and it doesn't need to be sort of completely changing the type of work that he does. It's just that he's left that very stressful situation. We're going to put him into something else. Look, I'm seeing April, so whether or not that means before Easter or just after Easter, but I'd like to sort of hope that he could sort of hang out till after Easter and give himself a chance to have a bit of a rest, get his head clear, work out what it is that he wants, what he doesn't want. I mean, I suppose the major thing for you, Chelsea, is that you're concerned, is he sort of questioning the relationship between us? I don't think that's really the case, in as much as questioning it as is he going to break up with you. That's the furthest thing from his mind. What he is questioning is how he feels about you, that he does feel that this relationship has real potential to become very, very serious, and he wants to make sure that he can offer you something. You know, he is quite an old-fashioned sort of man in that sort of way. He still sort of believes that he's got to be the one to be able to bring something to the table to offer you some sort of future. I mean, that's very admirable and very chivalrous, but, you know, in this day and age, us girls are quite able to look after ourselves. So, but he still
We have been together 10 years, though.
What's Weddy?
We have been together 10 years. And he walked out and left me for someone else 3 weeks ago. As being more permanent now. You know, I don't know whether he's never in this 10 years sort of talked to you about marriage. It's sort of like he's looking at, he keeps saying to me, I want to make this official. So that's why I felt it was marriage that he was thinking along. He walked out and left me for someone else 3 weeks ago, and I haven't seen or spoken to him since.
Okay. I think he's a complicated man. I think you've got a lot of patience. You've sort of weathered a number of storms with him. I just feel that you need to just sort of cut him a little bit of slack and let him sort through what it is that he's going through, and just know that when he comes out the other side, I feel that this relationship will be a lot stronger, and the two of you will be sort of making some joint decisions together about, you know, what's next. And I did feel, maybe not this year, but towards the beginning or the early part of 2021, I felt the two of you were making a very, very serious decision about a change of residence. But I sort of felt it was more to looking towards maybe putting down roots and purchasing something together. Has that been something that you have talked about in the past?
Yeah.
And that's what I feel, this is part of what's going on in his head at the moment, is trying to sort of get everything sort of organised, straightened out, sorted out, because that's what he wants to do. And that's part of this, making it sort of the bigger commitment, you know, like that's part of what I'm saying. Darling, I don't normally bring up, but has there been a recent death on his side of the family? Like the last 12 months? Was there a loss of a woman?
No.
Why am I picking up somebody that he's still struggling with coming to terms with this loss? So it's not one to come. This is one that's happened. I thought it was the last 12 months. It may be a little bit longer than that.
No, he hasn't, no.
Okay, you might be able to think of somebody off the top of your head at the moment, and it may not be somebody that's obvious that's going to jump out at you as being somebody that was super close, and you'd think, well, why would he be still struggling over this one? You know, it was only his dad's auntie, and he only saw her, you know, twice a year, and you think, well, that can't be the one. It'll be something obscure like that, and it's sort of like, I don't know that he's necessarily not over the death or hasn't come to terms with it. For some reason or another, he keeps going back to that. And I don't quite understand.
There has been a death, not of a woman. Right. It was actually one of his friends that he worked with.
Right.
And that was...
Why am I picking up a real female energy around that, though?
The what, sorry?
Why am I picking up such a female energy around that?
I'm not sure. He took that death quite hard.
Okay, well, that's obviously the one I'm picking up, but I'm also picking up from the other side. There's a female there that's trying to help him through this. That's why I thought it may have been a female.
That could be his nan.
That could be like a grandmother or a great-grandmother on the other side trying to help him come to terms with this. But, yeah, this passing really did rock him at his foundation, didn't it? It was sort of, he's really struggled with this. Look, I feel in a strange sort of way there's a lot of blessings to take out of this, because what that death did was sort of make him wake up and sort of say, hang on a minute, life can be taken away from you at a moment's notice. I've got to make sure that I achieve everything. And this is why I think he's been in this sort of strange sort of energy. But Chelsea, I do believe the two of you are going to stay together. Things are going to get better. Things are going to get stronger. Just hang in there. And I thank you very much for the opportunity to read for you, sweetie. So we're coming to the end of the show. We've only got less than 2 minutes to go. So please, again, I just want to stress to people, please just calm down, be kind, be considerate, think of other people, and don't go panic buying. There's enough food in the world to go around for everybody. If we all just use some sensible approaches to things, make sure that you wash your hands, have good hygiene, and just stay home as much as you possibly can so that we can minimise the spread, the risk of anybody else being infected with this terrible virus that is going around. And I think if we all collectively just sort of spend, a couple of minutes a day sending some healing to the whole world, that will encompass each and every one of us. Until next week, I hope you stay safe. And we are here to help you here at A1R Psychic Radio on Moonstruck TV. We have, a wonderful week of many, many exciting and very, very interesting shows. So I hope you can tune into a few more. Have a great week, and we'll see you next week. Bye for now.
listening to A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, enlightening television. Welcome.
Time for Insights into Consciousness with Anna Olson. Live from AnnaOlsonIntuitive.com.
Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/psychic radio.
Or one of our websites,
AskOneRadio.com or Moonstruck.tv.
This is Insights into Consciousness
On A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Hi, good evening. I'm Anna Olson here on Insights into Consciousness here on A1R Radio. I'm your host tonight for this segment, and tonight I am winging it. I'm just going to talk about whatever the guides tell me to talk about. I do have a couple things prepared. The first thing I wanted to go over is when our new moon and full moon is and what that will look like. And then I want to go over this week's herb or flower and a stone or crystal. And then I want to go over how to read for yourself as a practice for daily guidance or even weekly guidance, or however it is that you want to do that. Some people start out weekly, monthly, bi-monthly, and then they can increase as they get better or as they get more used to it. And then I'm also going to do a watcher's reading question and answer and how I got that answer. So I'm really starting to implement how I do my readings and how other people can do their own readings at home, because I really love to teach other people how to get started on doing this for themselves, because there are so many people who want readings. I can't always fit everybody into my weekly schedule, and we can't always answer every single call on our shows, although we would absolutely love to. So I would just love to do a few of the questions that my guides will tell me that people will be needing to ask who will be viewing tonight or listening. And then I will answer those on the air, and I'll tell you how I got it. So first off, new moon is going to be January 24th, and we're in 2020 now. So we're going to have a new moon in Aquarius. What that means is a good time to commit to your personal goals, which is fantastic because we're in January and there's a lot of goal setting and people really trying to set some goals. Now, when we're doing this personal goal setting, we want it to be something that's a little outside the box, something that we're not used to doing at this time of year, because Aquarius is all about stepping out of your comfort zone. And the first thing that you're going to want to do during the Aquarius the new moon, is you're going to want to really think about what it is that will hit the hardest to set you in the direction you want to go in. So we're not talking about, oh, I want to go back to the gym again, although I haven't been for 6 months, and I'll just follow that old goal that I know I should be doing. No, we're not going to do any of the boring stuff. We want big stuff. We want, I'm going to call and get an interview with this place that I've been thinking about and dreaming about for 5 years. I want to go take this art class and see if I can maybe go and sell some of my art. I want to, think outside the box. I want to go to this new place I've never been to, travel to this new country I've never been to, save for a trip to a place I've never been that I've been dreaming about for a while. We want all of the things that we have been trying or committing to focus on for a long time. We want to do the big stuff this new moon. We want to plant those seeds, okay? So the other thing about the new moon, January 24th in Aquarius, is that we want to have surgeries during the waning moon. That's the best time. Now, there are guides to every day of the month, of the year, of the century, and it will tell you exactly where you should not have a surgery that day. And it's a good guide to follow. I've had, I think, over 7 surgeries now just on basic stuff, nothing too scary, but every time I've had a surgery, in the past 5 years or so, I've looked at the calendar for the new moon, the full moon, where it is in on the horoscope, on the, where space is at that time, where the planets are. And there's a specific guide. It's a good idea to follow it. I have noticed that I recover better when I do it this way. I visualize anyway, and that helps me with recovery. But it's always a good way to know when to schedule a surgery. That is important. So the upcoming full moon is going to be on February 9th. This is going to be our full moon in Leo. And on the full moon, February 9th, this is a no way on your surgeries. Do not have a surgery on this day. You're going to want to do those surgeries on the waning moon. The next day is fine, February 10th. But you're going to want to, again, look at the guide for the organs. You can find those online. There's a ton of guides about which organs or places to do surgeries on what days. And then there's a definite no on some days. February 9th is a no-go on surgery in general. But this upcoming full moon in Leo, this is a fire sign. So this, again, it's really convenient to have this full moon in Leo right after we have a new moon in Aquarius, because you're going to set all those great goals that personal goals that are kind of outside the box, that are a little bit more exciting. You're stretching yourself a little bit more to do these. And then our full moon in Leo, when we're going to be really releasing the old stuff and letting them bloom, that's going to be a fire sign full moon, which means it's kind of like setting that fire under us and motivating us to really get things done. So it's a really good next couple of months that we're going to be having for setting some goals in general. So now's a good time. Don't burn yourself out, though. The same, the double-edged sword with Leo being a fire sign is that you can't overdo it. So we don't want to set all these goals and do all this stuff and get all motivated, but burn ourselves out with that same fire. So regulate it, balance it out, little bit at a time, within reason. We don't want to go too crazy. We don't want to go into debt for these goals. We want to make sure that everything is in balance. So this week's herb, now I'm going to do a flower, and that's going to be the rose. So roses are an herb where if you take the, it's a flower, but when you take the oil out of a rose, it basically all different oils from different plants and flowers and etc. They have a frequency on where they can elevate our frequency. So there's long history in mankind where we have been able to utilize herbs, flowers, and the like for our benefit of the human body. So the rose is the absolute highest frequency. Let's say the essential oil, if you can get it organic. I know there's a place on Amazon and they sell, rose oil. I think it's like a tiny one for like $55 or $60. And I know that sounds like a lot. It's pricey because they have to put 1,000 pounds of roses or something, the petals, into this, few drops of oil. But the really great thing about the rose oil is that it is the most powerful oil, if it's a true pure essential oil, that we can use and utilize for our well-being and our good. It is a very magnifying, powerful flower, the petals. Smelling them, having them around you, there's a lot of energy in mediumship and the spirit world where spirits will speak through the image or the smell of roses. It is such a highly potent, high frequency flower, and it's a weed. It's a bush that comes from a weed, and it has a very strong will, high frequency. I know of a few people who are very successful business owners who put a really good, strong rose water in a weed killing container from a hardware store, and they sprayed around the circumference of their property because it elevates the frequency. It is good for feng shui. It's very potent. It is good for protection and for magnifying your different goals, personal goals, things that you are intending, wanting to manifest. It's a good way to magnify and really make more potent what it is that your intention is. And you can also put it in a spray bottle, spray it around a room. You can spray it on your personage, so you have that great frequency in your aura. You can use it with intention setting and just things that you are intending to do with your life, or when you're thinking about people around you, you can use it there too to magnify the purpose and the intention of whatever it is that you're seeking out to do, the goals that you are setting. So that's why I wanted to go over the rose and rose oil, essential oil, today. It is great for manifesting, and it goes along well with this new moon in Aquarius and the full moon in Leo, and it can be very beneficial for many things. I do suggest you really research this one. It's a fantastic flower. It's a fantastic way to do a lot of intention setting. So it also, if you put it in a cream or something that you put on your skin, it will intensify what that does by like 1,000-fold. So if you use rose oil on your skin, it's like a drop to, I don't know, like a liter of lotion or skin cream or something, but it is so good for so many things, just on the skin, the hair, and wearing it as an essential oil, on the nape of the neck or behind the ears. There's all these different uses for it, and it does all these specific things. People that really tend to be operating at a denser consciousness tend to love the smell of this pure organic essential oil because they need it, and because they can sense that they need that extra push and that wonderful higher frequency. It's very helpful for emotional well-being. If you're feeling under the weather during the winter, if you're in the snow, you haven't had sunshine, it's a great way to magnify a good mood when you're feeling good. It's kind of like quartz crystal. When you're just feeling really good, you want to wear a quartz crystal. It will magnify whatever it is that you're putting out there, and it will magnify the frequency. So it will make it exponentially better and more powerful. Also, I really wanted to focus on a stone or crystal, and this week's is the rose quartz. Now, we know that rose quartz is an excellent stone for love and for attracting love, or for working on your relationship, or just any relationship, the love that people share, or the love that you're sending out to others. You wear rose quartz on your heart, you'll be able to be more aligned with that heart chakra. It's a heart chakra stone for love frequency. Great to pair with your rose essential oil, or rose petals, or roses that you put on your table in a vase. This is a great stone to magnify those intentions for good relationships, refreshers in relationships, or to attract a very healthy, loving relationship. So another thing that you can do is pair up a nice rose quartz stone crystal on your nightstand by your bed with an amethyst, and those together can be very conducive to great sleep and dreaming about focusing on healthy relationships, attracting healthy relationships, filtering out all of the bad stuff in your electromagnetic field. And you can also put it under your bed, where your heart chakra would be when you lay down to go to sleep at night. Those are two places you can test it out and see where you'd like to place the stones. The amethyst tends to also cleanse the rose quartz when it's by it, so that's really nice. You could just go and charge it after it's been cleansed by its amethyst. So there's a little tip for better sleep and attracting love. I really want to go over how to read for yourself as a practice for daily guidance. And, I say daily guidance. Now, of course, it's just whenever you need the guidance, whether that be daily, weekly, monthly, it's up to you. I really love doing a daily card pull. At first, it can be a little hard to pull for yourself, so it's good to practice. And I really, really love the Fairy Tarot. This is a fairy deck that has full tarot arcana in it, and it also has this beautiful guidebook. It has some great art. a great description on each card in case you're starting out and you're new with this. It'll help to guide you to doing this a little more efficiently, especially for yourself. You could also start, doing readings for other people if you want to, your family members. You can pull a card for your family members, whether they're there or not, putting an intention out there for them that's positive, loving, protective. Same with yourself. You go into your deities. Who are your deities? You're going to start out by asking, if you're working with the angel realm, let's say you want to ask Archangel Michael. You want to ask, your angel Gabriel. You pick your deities and you focus on that. You're going to ask a question. You're going to ask a question. You're going to be, first of all, grounded, do some meditation. You can research what kind of meditation you'd like to personally do, and really ground yourself so that you're feeling that divine light coming through you, and you know that you are now an oracle of sorts. You are now a connection between heaven and earth. Your heart chakra is now a connection between heaven and earth, and you're going to shuffle the cards while you're thinking about the question. Now, I would usually do this on myself, but today I would really like to focus on my viewers and my listeners and really focus on a question that they may have today. So my guides will tell me exactly who will be listening and what their question will be. This can also apply to more than one person. So if you're listening with a friend, it may be for both of you. It isn't always just an answer for one person. A reading can be for more than one person. Even though it's catered or uniquely for one person, it can also apply to somebody else. So remember that these can be dual purpose. And the first question that I'm getting is, will I be with my partner long term? This is a common question, but I'm getting that this is specifically for somebody who is of African American descent. And it's about a man who is of African American descent. And he's tall, thin, and very driven person. He tends to like to travel quite a bit or move around quite a bit. He is definitely a fun partner. He is lively and likes to make you laugh a lot. So I'm seeing this man in my mind, and the question is, will he be with me long term? The answer I'm going to think about and ask the guides and respectfully thank them before they even give me the answer. And then I'm going to shuffle my cards. So I have these here, and I'm shuffling them as I think of the question. And I've already cleansed and sort of gotten out any old energy out of the cards. So I'm going to shuffle them and pull one. I have an ego card. So this is kind of what I was suspecting before I pulled the card, was that this guy, his ego kind of runs away with his ego a little bit too much. I will just read it and then I'll show you the picture, or I'll show you the picture first on the front. If you want to just kind of look at this, this is the number 15 and it's the ego. So I will read the description. The illusion of being trapped, placing too much importance on material items and getting caught up in fear and worry. So the difference between you and your significant other, your partner, this man that I was describing, the difference is that he is more free-spirited. You are more really a worrier, kind of worrying about where is this going to go, where is it going. He's more like, well, we'll just see. Let's not worry about it. He may work where he has to go out of town a lot. Maybe he has to travel. And his state of mind is he will take things as they come. He's not going to create any problems when there are none. And that's the way he's looking at it. He's not disrespectful to you at all. He just really doesn't want to worry about things that aren't happening. So while you need a lot of this stability and reassurance, because of, it's just like you're passing your personality, nothing wrong with that. But while you're needing all this, basically him telling you, oh, I'm going to be here, this is where it's going, I promise you this and that, he's just like thinking, I just want to have fun. I just want to see where this takes us. And he's kind of flying by the seat of his pants and free-spirited, doesn't worry too much about the details like that. I see that it would be a very long relationship with him, that as long as the worrying doesn't get in the way, because this is the thing, sometimes what we fear we create because we're not letting it go. And I think it's more about catering to your insecurities and what it is that you're really worried about. Are you placing a lot of your worries from a past relationship, or are you placing worries from something that you saw someone you love go through on him and your relationship? You knew what he did when you got together with him. You knew what his job was. You knew he was going to be out of town. You understood these things, and you agreed to go ahead and continue a serious relationship with him. He travels. He is a fun-loving person. I know that he can also be a little bit flighty, but it's important to remember that, yes, he has a bit of an ego. It's partially, he has a high self-confidence. He's very social. He gets along well with people. That is how he was raised. That doesn't mean he's going to cheat on you. That also doesn't mean that things aren't going to work out because somebody's going to come and take him away from you. It just means that that's his personality, and that's like how he likes to be social and talk to other people. So my answer to your question, will you be together long term, is yes, as long as you settle down and stop bugging him about the little things, because he needs a break. You knew these things about him when you got together with him, and I'm going to lovingly tell you that that is on you, not him. You need to stop picking at him, because he is doing everything he told you originally he was going to be doing. He's not doing anything wrong. And if you want him to go off with somebody else and leave, then keep running him crazy. So I'm going to lovingly tell you to stop it and wag my finger just a little bit and say, I understand your feelings, but you're going to need to stop pushing him away if you want things to be good for as long as you're with him and you want things to continue. So the answer is, it's really up to you as well, that you, as long as you can deal with your insecurities and do that internal work and not make it about him, you will be together with him for 20 plus years, and it will be a lot of fun. And yes, he will start to settle down. He will eventually retire after some time, and you guys will be able to really have a daily relationship. Remember that you also are not ready for a daily relationship either. You've got all your stuff going on with kids and everything else. And that's where your attention is, and this is why it's working out so well with him. Let it work out the way it is and just go more along with his view of things that, let's just see what happens. Let's just have fun where we are right now. So that's the first question. Now, if I wanted to do this reading on my own, and that was my question, and I get the ego card and I look at it and I meditate on it and I think, okay, I think that this is what it means. I think that this means that this guy has a big ego and blah, blah, blah. And I'm coming up with all these things. One thing that you can do, you can look at the number, which is 15. And you can also look at the possibility that 15 also represents the number 6, because 1 plus 5 is 6. That is also a possibility. You can look at the meaning behind both numbers, 15 and 6. You can also see if it resonates with anything in your life. Were you the age 15 when something happened in your life where maybe that built some insecurities? Did something happen with this person when they were 15? Does 15 represent somebody's birthday, the age of a child, the number of weeks, the number of years? Really stop and pay attention to what it's reflecting and how it's representing your story. I then would take the book and see if it adds anything or if it just confirms what I was originally thinking. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to look for ego 15, card number 15. I open it right up to ego, and I'm going to read what it says in the book. It says, happiness can be elusive if you're not clear on your own priorities, motivations, and behaviors. Now, I didn't memorize this, but look at what I got. Look at what's coming out of the book for this card. Taking time for self-reflection allows you the opportunity to experience great personal epiphanies and practice self-forgiveness. See the truth of who you are. Release those aspects that no longer serve you. Let go of guilt, fear, and blame. Have compassion for yourself. Look in the mirror and tell yourself, I love you for being divinely perfect in this moment. Isn't that a beautiful thing to tell somebody to do? I mean, that's just a great self-love, self-care thing. Detox from harmful foods, substances, or people. Confront your fears and release yourself from any limitations or self-imposed traps. Self-imposed traps, like pushing somebody away because of your own insecurities when you could otherwise be very happy with them. Self-imposed traps. Give yourself permission to be free of worry, free of blame, free of constantly ruminating or needing to know what's going on with somebody, driving them crazy. Our fairy friends stand before a traditional Celtic Beltane fire, a springtime sacred ceremony to release the old, that is guilt, fear, blame, and other products of the ego, and welcome the new. Okay, so this is also an additional meaning of this card, which is determining what is the cause and what is the symptom, placing too much importance on material items, or getting caught up in fear and worry or dependency or addiction. So I really did get a vibe of a dependency on this relationship rather than a free, loving, spirited relationship that is based on a very stable two people that are well balanced on their own without needing somebody or need to lean on somebody. It's lacking in, stability. This is why I wanted the self-care in there and everything else. So let's go on to the next question, and I will give it an answer and how I got that answer. So let's see. The next one is going to be, I'm going to listen to my guides real quick while I'm shuffling the cards. And I would really like to try a quick card pull. Will my career be long-term in this field? Okay, so I got the King of Autumn, and this is a really beautiful card. I only have a few seconds, so I'm going to hurry up. But this is the King of Autumn. I love this card. I got compassionate, accomplished, charismatic, and gifted. So you are all those things: compassionate, accomplished, charismatic, and gifted. Be assertive to what you know is right. Everything is going to be going your way. A good person or company to work for. So that's what this card is. And I can go ahead and look in the book later on and see if it applies. But it's basically a yes. You'll be in this career for a long time. You'll be very successful. Believe in yourself, and you'll do great. So it's a good company to work for, and you're in the right place. So darn it, only have 30 seconds left, but please reach me and I will be happy to do a reading for you. I can also teach you how to do these readings yourself, so you can start a business or do them for yourself or your friends, your family, those close to you. You can reach me at AnnaOlsonIntuitive.com, and you can also schedule an appointment immediately and let me know if you'd like to on the phone or in person here on the Central Coast, California. We can also do it on the phone, so let me know. You can go to my website, AnnaOlsonIntuitive.com. It's at the bottom of the screen. And you can click on Schedule an Appointment and click the Schedule button or the Book Now button, and it will take you straight to my calendar, and you can book with me and let me know if you'd like it on the phone or in person.
Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, enlightening television. Welcome.
Time for Gemma's Spirit World with Gemma. Live from GemmaSpiritWorld.com.
Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/Psychic Radio.
Or one of our websites,
AskOneRadio.com or Moonstruck.tv.
This is Gemma's Spirit World
On A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Good evening, everybody. How are you tonight? I am Gemma, your host, and I am glad to be back and talking with you all. My goodness, I feel like I've been away again, and I've actually would like to just share a little bit of my journey in the last probably fortnight. The 13th of February, it had been 32 years since my car accident, where I was, that's basically where I had my accident in New South Wales. And so, yes, 32 years without walking. And last week it was my birthday, and I decided to go back to the hometown of where I had my accident. It's been 28 years since I've been back to my hometown in Lithgow, New South Wales, in the Blue Mountains. So I decided to take a whole week off and to really go back and see more. Obviously, I was only 6 at the time when I had my accident, so it was really nice to go back with fresh eyes and to really live in the moment of driving around. I actually drove all the way down from the Gold Coast, so it was an 11-hour drive. Did it on my own. It was a calling that I've had at the beginning of the year to see my accident site, to see the corner that it happened on. And it was obviously, I think it was more emotional going back to my hometown, seeing family, seeing friends I haven't seen for a long time. But it was something that my soul needed, and something that I've taken a while for me to accept. You know, having a permanent disability, and it felt good. It felt good. I had this freedom of travel. I had itchy feet to get back, and it was just amazing for my soul. And so that's where I've been for the last week, maybe 2 weeks. Actually 2 weeks, but for the last week, and I've definitely have accepted my accident, but it was just nice to revisit. And obviously, you know, we all have trauma, and we have, the energy is in our body, and we have layers and layers of that. And I just really wanted to have that shift, and things that I don't realise there's something in there that I haven't accepted, and I wanted to really appreciate, I really appreciate where and how far I have come. So, and, my life wouldn't have been the same if I hadn't had my accident. So, that's been my whole week, and it's been really nice to just connect but really live in the moment and take in everything in. And yes, it was emotional, but it was so gratifying that it was exhilarating, and it brought up lots of emotions that I was able to express, release, and I guess move on into the future to see what else the future holds for me. So that's been my week. I've actually got back into work this week as well. So I'm really excited. Tonight I'm actually hosting my first event at work, delivering spirits with a big group. I have done like morning teas and, had people, groups in the morning, but it's really nice to, do it at night time and be part of something that's, going to take off. I can see it's going to open up new doors for myself. And it's also about connecting loved ones to people as well. So I'm really looking forward to tonight. I'm actually really super hyped up and can't wait. So I know that I've had a big week with spirit loved ones around me, so they are more than ready to get into the action of it. So that's my big week of traveling, soul searching, and yes, we're ready to connect. So we're going to tune into Dave. Sorry, I'm really bad with names in Florida, USA. Devetta. Hello.
Devetta. Yes, everyone calls me Gail, but my first name is Devetta.
Lovely name. I was a bit unsure, but it has lots of strengths about it. I reckon you're the kind of person that has a lot of strengths, and whether you realise you have a lot of strengths about yourself.
Thank you.
How can I help tonight? What areas would you like me to look into for you?
More relationship and finances.
Yeah. Yes, okay. So with relationships around you at the moment, actually what I'm seeing for you is that there seems to be, is there lots of discussions going on about in your current relationship at the moment with your partner? What I'm seeing is something going back and forth, and I feel like there's lots of issues have been has been aired, but also been, discussed, but also lots of things have come to the decision makings have been big lately. Does this resonate with you and your current partner?
Oh, you said what? That's what I'm trying to find out. If it's even for me.
Okay, so that might be someone else that's around you at the moment. Are you in? Because what I'm seeing is I have someone. The energy that I'm tuning into, I have this energy of two people, and I see that there's been big decisions in going forward in the relationship. I feel like there's been lots of ups and downs, but I also see there's some kind of big commitments that's about to happen, but there's also been lots of disagreements and issues in regards to trust around commitment. Does this resonate with somebody around you? Yes, okay, because that's what I keep seeing. Also, have you seen I'm going to say the third wheel, meaning that you've actually helped out the other person, in supporting. I feel like you've supported both of them, though, in the way that you're there for both of them for this relationship.
Yes.
Yeah, and what I keep seeing, I see that children are involved. I keep seeing, not children, but I see children, but I keep seeing there's one child involved. Is that correct as well?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, so I've got the children on the side there. I just see I see a girl, but I'm not, sometimes I get mixed up with the energies of different sexes, but what I'm seeing is that there's been that commitment of, and I feel like it's been more that the male energy, so the male partner, hasn't been committed. It feels like there's been some trust issues around the female. There's been some trust issues, but I see that things have been, lots of things have been ironed out. So there's lots of issues, lots of communication, but it still seems to be a sticky situation that still involves a lot of things. It seems the implications interesting with I know I'm talking a little bit too fast, but with the male in the relationship, has he been in any kind of trouble with the law or anything with the law?
Yes, he just got out of jail last Friday, and I went and picked him up in another state from some old issues from a previous relationship.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what I keep seeing. I keep seeing the jail bar, so that's why my question was asked. And it also feels like, a sense of freedom, but he's also still really trapped, and I feel like he's still really trapped in his mind in regards to a lot of things. And I see that the young lady involved, if she still hangs on, it's like she still hasn't given up on him, given how much he's actually gone through. But I do see this child involved, but I also keep seeing that, I also see there being a commitment issue as well. And I know that what I keep seeing with the female is that she wants to, would like things to move forward, and I still feel like that he's still a bit stuck in his old ways, or even stuff from his past that's holding him back. Does that resonate with you with what's going on in their relationship?
Yes. One day he seemed to want to go forward, and the next I'm confused.
Yeah. And it is very confusing, and it's very draining for both sides, because you see how much, how much is involved and who's involved. It's emotional, and it's also I feel like my heartstrings are being pulled in all different directions, which makes, the future really hard to see, if there is a future. What I do see is that the moment, because of but what I'm seeing for him is that his judgment of decision making seems to be a bit clouded to the fact that I think he's still adjusting to just being himself and where he is in his life at the moment. And I feel also that he doesn't answer a lot of questions, and that's frustrating.
Right.
Yeah. What I see is your support, and how much you've been a big support. Is this just for your daughter? Is this for your,
I'm sorry.
Your daughter that's in the relation? Is this your daughter that's in the relationship with him?
No. My daughter is here. She lives with me, but she recently got into a relationship with someone else.
Okay.
And she has some.
Okay.
And she's really like a little child, but she's an adult.
Yeah, because I keep seeing this little child next to you on the side, so that's probably what I'm seeing is her energy beside you. So the guy that's in jail he's okay.
He's not in jail anymore. He's out. The guy. My son is in jail.
The one. Oh, so it's your son. It's your son. Okay,
my son is in jail, but the guy that I've been seeing, he just got out of jail.
Ah, okay.
My son is in jail, but the guy that I'm seeing, he just got out of jail.
Okay, sorry about that. Just my connection seems to be a bit jittery on my end. I just see that. Yes, the son is in jail. Gotcha. What I keep seeing is that at the moment it just seems that. Oh, okay, got you. So your daughter at the moment, I also feel like there seems to be fear around her, and I get that feeling because my anxiety seems to be, I just have anxiety around her, so there's some tough decisions to make at the same time because everything's so new, and there's just lots of decision making, and the message that I have that's coming through for her is that not rush into things. To really just see how things go, not to rush is what I keep hearing for her.
Okay.
I also see that I've got number 11 around her, so whether she can resonate with the number 11, but, it's also, I know that it's like she's got such a big heart and she trusts too easily. So at the same time, just go with her intuition. Things don't feel right, but not to rush either is what I've got going on.
That is true. Okay.
Yeah.
And as for the relationship with me, is it even worth continuing or?
No, at the moment I just see that there's lots of questions, so it just seems a bit cloudy at the moment. So I just would, at the moment, what I'm seeing, not to misjudge, just give it a few weeks is what I'm hearing. And I also keep hearing not to repeat things that's happened in the past.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, lovely. I have to wrap things up because I have my next call of waiting, but it was lovely to connect with you tonight. I wish you all the best. And just trust.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We have Jen from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, USA. Hello, Jen. How are you tonight?
How are you? How are you?
Thank you. I love your energy. You've got lots of energy. How can I help you tonight?
I don't know. I don't know what happened. I had to call. I don't know. It's not me. I'm just, there's something wrong. So.
It's interesting because what I keep seeing around you at the moment, I know we haven't gone into detail yet, but I keep seeing a big air balloon, but I feel like that's you. I feel like your feet are off the ground. There's not much stability, as in, like, I think underneath you, you feel a bit scattered, but at the same time, I think you're still finding the right direction in which way you're wanting to go. It feels like things aren't, whether you haven't grounded yourself in a location yet or you're still in the process of wanting to move or feeling like whether you want to move. There's questions about moving. Does this resonate with you?
Yes, I want to move down south. Yes.
Yeah, I can see that, and I can see that it's going to happen soon for you, a lot sooner than you realise, because I keep seeing you being this hot air balloon. You're about to take off, and what I keep hearing for you is to tie up the things that you need to tie up now. It makes that transitioning a lot smoother for you.
Okay.
Yeah. Also, what I've got around you, you're very creative. Do you do any kind of artwork or do anything creatively? It could also mean with your voice. I've just got lots of art, lots of colour around you as well.
Yes, that's me.
Yeah, I feel that. And with colour, it creates movement. So you're constantly moving, but I feel like when you move down south, this is going to be a permanent move for you, where you're going to feel like, it just feels you've embraced everything. You've put everything out there, and this is your big, it feels really good. Like this is you. This is, finally you've gotten to where you need to go.
That's great.
So that's what I keep saying for you. I've also got lots of flowers around you, which lets me know it's a celebrational time for you. But have you had a birthday or coming up to a birthday? Because I've got flowers right in front of me.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah. So, if you're doing, this year's all about you and celebrating you and what you want. And because I see that you've put lots of other people first before yourself in the last few years, but you're finally listening to yourself and taking your dreams forward. And it's with that creative flair that you have about yourself. You're always creating movement. You're always making new friends. And you're the kind of person that I feel through your energy that you don't have trouble doing that. So any fear that you have, you don't let any obstacles in front of you stop you from achieving what you want to do.
Oh, I have a stroke too. That's,
You have a what, sorry?
I can't. I have a massive stroke, and I can talk like that. I'm excited or whatever. I can't talk.
I love it because you've got this big ball of energy, and it's about putting all that good energy you have to use and to being in service of others as well. And I see that you make a big difference in the world with what you do because of the kind of person that you are. You have this big heart.
Okay.
I also see that with a transport, or you've had any transport, any car problems, but I've seen that the transport, there's different transport by the time you move, whether there's issues around transport or how you're going to get from A to B. Like, I'm not saying you don't have a car, but it feels like where you need to get to, whether it involves other transport in the location that you're going. Does this make sense? I'm not really, does this resonate with you about the transport in regards to the new location that you're going to?
Okay. I want to go to south. I want to go to the south and whenever find out genealogy, and I want to meet new friends in my existence, and that's all.
we're definitely going to be embracing it all. I think
Really?
Yes, definitely. It feels really good around you. It's got this energy, and it's, you know, it's, I see also, even with friendships, it feels like the last even 2 years have been like, you know, whether you've been the kind of person to attract the wrong energy in your life, the wrong kind of people, that is more, you know, obviously you didn't realize at first, but I'm also seeing it this year, it's a lot more positive, you know, you've got a lot more uplifting, like-minded people that you're going to be connecting with.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, and that's what I see, and I see that, you know, it's also company, it's good company, and it's something that, you know, I know that you crave as well because you love, you know, being around people, but at the same time you do like your quiet time, but, you know, you really, you know, people get to really see you for you, and that's really good about the kind of friends that you're going to be making, is because they see you and you don't need to pretend to be anyone else but yourself.
Mhm. All right. There's like do you see like
yeah.
Did you see he saw himself? Is he around?
Sorry, who was that? Sorry, a loved one, did you say?
He saw himself. Is he around?
Sorry, my connection seems to be bad. Wait 1 second. I did not hear the question. I'm just waiting for that question. Okay. Oh, okay. Just with that connect. Okay. So with the person, can you repeat that question again for me, please?
He saw himself. Is he's around all the time? And my kids and
yes,
heaven.
Definitely.
Really?
Oh my goodness. Sorry. So is he around? Your children are with you.
Good.
Your children are with you. Only your children.
Okay. All right. That's
your
good.
children, you know, what I keep seeing lots of animals around your children, but it's interesting, do you have 3 children that have
I have 3 children, yes. And 2 in heaven.
That's great to keep. Yeah, okay, but I keep seeing 3, okay, got you. What I'm seeing for you is that I see an older lady, okay, sorry, I'm getting just confused. I've got children everywhere, and what I'm saying to you is that there's an older lady around, and when I see her, I keep seeing the colour red. So whether this older lady, and I see, like, you know, Nan, whether it was your nana, but I keep seeing the colour red around her, whether she likes the colour red or like red roses, because I'm really drawn to red.
Yellow.
Red, and I think of red roses when I... Hello?
Yes, I'm here. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, can you resonate?
Followed my grandmother.
With your... Yeah, that's what I keep seeing. That's what I keep seeing around your 2 children. And I keep seeing the colours red, so they're very much looked after, is what I keep seeing.
That's
I keep
good.
seeing little birds, so they're having a lot of fun, but they're around you a lot. So the energy is around you as well. They are around you is what I keep seeing. And what I keep seeing is that I keep hearing the little birds, whether you hear lots of little birds around you.
Honest to God. I have a cardinal. He stops all the time. Yes, and I have animals. Yes.
Yeah, that's right. Definitely, and that's what I keep hearing is this bird, and it's very talkative. So I keep hearing, and this is your children around this bird, keeping it very chatty.
Yes, I just love it.
Yeah, and the colour as well. So I just wanted to let you know that, you know, safe and sound and very chatty, and always around you. So just keep listening out to that bird.
Okay. All right. I'm just afraid. I'm stressed, you know.
Yeah. Definitely. And I see that everything's okay. And I keep seeing a hug. I keep seeing your children giving you hugs from your chest onwards, not from behind, but in front of you. So crossing, giving you hugs from your front, crossing over.
Really?
Yeah, so the hugs, I feel them around you in front of your chest more than hanging off you on your back. So I just want to let you know they're close to your heart. I wish you all the best with your move. Sorry, my connection's really bad from my end, and the connection's really bad, but I just want to wish you all the best with your new move, and embrace everything that you see, feel, and hear, because you have beautiful energy around you. But yes, I do need to end our call, Jen, but it was lovely to talk and connect with you tonight.
Thank you. That's good.
Thank you.
My bed, and there's like a kiss, and I think that was Mark. Probably. He saw it himself. That's why I was asking. Is that him?
Yeah. It's I do feel that. Yeah.
Okay.
But all is well your way. Just keep looking forward is what I'm feeling.
Okay. Thank you.
That's okay. Thank you for connecting. Thank you, A1R Psychic Radio, for connecting. I look forward to seeing you next week. Thank you.
To A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, enlightening television. Welcome.
Time for Your Time to Shine with Julie Yeager-Walker. Live from Wings of Souls with Julie.com.
Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/psychic radio.
Or one of our websites,
askoneradio.com or moonstruck.tv.
This is Your Time to Shine
on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Your Time to Shine, a radio show designed to help you explore your own divine gifts. How are you this evening? How is everyone doing in this beginning of March? As I was sitting here preparing for the show, there was a huge flock of geese that flew over the house, and they were noisy. I think they were out there for at least 15 minutes talking and chattering. So I sat there to see if they had any messages for us, and they did. They had some really beautiful messages that tie into what I wanted to talk about tonight. So the message from the geese are: fly high, soar above it, do not worry, and do not fret. So I think it's a perfect segue in tonight's topic, which I wanted to just touch on, you know, all of the craziness and the worry and the fret over the coronavirus and how it is affecting each and every person, not just here in the U.S., but all over the world. And all over the world, people are changing their lifestyles, they're changing things up, and a lot of it is fear-based and worry. And rightly so. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of people out there who are sick and who are dealing with that, and even those who have died from it. And I am so much in compassion of that. And my heart goes out to those who are dealing with it, who have dealt with it. And yes, we do need to be in awareness of what's going on. But I do think that a lot of this is being, you know, played upon by our fears. And if I'm sure you've all heard or seen the toilet paper video. My husband brought it to my attention a few days ago, maybe a week ago now, and it is, I'm not even sure where it was, but it is a large store that carries bulk items, and you can see people being frenzied over buying boxes and boxes of toilet paper. And even this weekend, I was talking with someone, and they happened to be in a large store here in the Portland area, Costco, which is also a store that you buy bulk. And someone came in and asked the checker if they had any toilet paper in, which the checker replied, yes, we have some in, we just got some in. And this individual literally started running through the store to get to the toilet paper. I mean, there's this urgency that's all fear-based, fear of becoming sick, fear of our loved ones becoming sick and possibly even dying from all of this. And so the fear is real. However, if you can take that and you can shift it up, and if you can find it in your hearts to find the love and the compassion, and let that take over. Let that take over the fear, because fear and love cannot be, you can't have those same feelings at the same time. And if you're in a place of love and compassion, your vibration is higher, which you are less likely to succumb to those types of illnesses or any type of illness. When your vibration is high, you're feeling good, you're doing good, and you know, you go through life a lot easier. You're in flow and tune with the universe. And I know in a situation like this, it's really hard to find that. You know, when there's so much stuff going around in media and the people that you talk to. So it's really, really important for us to stay in awareness of what we're thinking and what we're feeling during these times. I really believe that all this is being brought into our awareness so that we remember as humans to have self-care and to take care of ourselves. And what does that look like? So right now, that looks like, you know, eating healthy, getting enough sleep, taking care of our bodies, washing our hands frequently, taking our vitamins. That might even be getting out into nature and taking a walk, whatever that looks like for you. Now is the time to really look hard and evaluate your self-care, because it's really, really important during this time that we take care of ourselves and not get overwhelmed and not get into that state of fear and worry, because when we do, it just compounds. my husband laughs at me and says, well, that I'm uninformed because I don't watch the news. I'm not glued to the TV watching news all the time. As an empath, I can't do that. If I'm in a state of even a little bit of, maybe having a bad day, things aren't going quite right, the energy and everything behind the news, everything that goes on, the drama, the trauma, it's really overwhelming and too much to take. So when we get into that state, we have to step back away from it. We have to step away from, consuming ourselves in that, that feeling of overwhelm, and you have to step away from that situation. And that's what I have to do. I physically have to step away from that situation. I can easily get back into it and get, aligned with whatever is going on in the world, but I don't need to be entrenched in it. So even that is self-care, right? Taking a step back from the media and what's going on in the world to focus in on you and your family and what is really important. So during this time, it's going to be a struggle. You're going to hear it more and more and more in the news. Whenever you can, step back, take a breath, and be in the moment of gratitude and thankfulness that you have your health and that you're doing well, and shine your love and compassion out there for those who might need it at the time. And as you do that, you raise your vibration, you raise your emotional body, and you start feeling a lot better. So take some time, take a little break, and try to stay out of that fear base, because it's not helping you as an individual, as a person, and it's definitely not going to be helping your family. Be informed, but try to stay in the love and compassionate side rather than the fear-based side. So with that, we are going to go to the phone lines. And right now we have Sharon in Saskatoon, Canada. Good evening, Sharon, and welcome to Your Time to Shine.
Thank you.
This evening.
Do you sense anything from me, or maybe a relationship reading?
Sure, whatever you would like. Are you looking to see some insight on your relationship?
Yeah. Should I stay or should I go, or will it ever work out?
Okay. So let me tune in here for just a minute. It's going to be, some silence here, but I'm just tuning in to see what your loved ones have to say, and I'll be right back. Okay, Sharon, so what they're showing me is they're showing me images of like sun and some clouds, and then these bursts of sun rays coming through. And so what's that showing me is that there's been a little bit of trial and tribulation, a little bit of up and down with this relationship, so to speak. 1 minute, everything is great and it's shining bright, and then all of a sudden, the clouds come in and there becomes this storm. And this is something that you've been dealing with for a little while now.
Yes.
Hang on just a moment. So they're showing me that it still may be a little bit rocky for a little while. And what this is doing is it's showing you, you guys seem to be on two different playing fields. And you haven't really quite matched up yet, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what they're asking you to do is to take a look at this and say, what is really important to you in a relationship, right? Just sit down and start writing things down that come to mind. Like something might be someone who makes me laugh, someone who can lift my spirits, somebody who,
Yeah.
You know what I'm getting at. Just start writing down some of these things, right? And then take a step back and look at that relationship that you have and see how many of those are really resonating with you.
I can see probably none of it. It's like no happy ones.
Well, what they're showing me is they're just showing me that there's a disconnect, and what they're showing is this may not be the 100% relationship that you're going to want to be in for long term. Right now, what it's doing is it is providing you with a purpose, right? And when I say a purpose, it is providing you something that you need in this moment. But they're showing me that that's going to shift and change a little bit, and that what you thought was that reason that you have this person in your life may not be as strong as it was once before.
Yes, it's not. Does it show me walking away?
In this very moment, no, they're not showing me that you're walking away, but they're showing me that things could shift and change depending on how you feel.
Mm-hmm.
This person isn't going anywhere. This person is going to be hanging around for a while. Okay? So if something happens to cause you to not continue on with this person, it's going to be because you have chosen this. It's not because they have chosen.
Mm-hmm.
And what it's showing you, what your guides are asking you to do is stand up and look at the relationship and look at what you want out of your life, because what you're seeing right now is not going to change. And if you're okay with that, then perfect. But if you're not okay with that, then you need to be the one to make a change, as hard as that may be.
I've been thinking about that change a lot.
Yeah.
I don't feel like it's going anywhere.
Yeah. It just
it's been a year
very,
since I came back, and there's no change.
Yeah, it feels very flat.
It is.
It's like you're growing and shifting and changing, but this person isn't. And that's not a bad thing. I'm not trying to say that this person is a bad person or whatever. They're on their own path, but it's a different path than what you're on.
Yes.
And as time goes on, that's going to become more and more and more clear to you.
Okay. All makes sense.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
You are very welcome.
Read. Okay, have a good night.
Thank you. You too. Next, we have Lisa in Western Australia. Good evening, Lisa.
Hello.
Hi,
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. What can I do for you this evening?
I just wanted a general, maybe general reading or something like that, or whatever you're offering. I don't know.
Okay, perfect. Let me tune in and see what your loved ones have to say. So there's going to be just a little bit of silence as I tune in. So hang on just a moment and I'll be right back with you, okay?
Okay.
So Lisa, what I'm being shown right now is I immediately saw this huge ocean wave, and you're sitting on top of it. So they're showing me that right now that you're just kind of riding this wave in life. It's not good. It's not bad. It's just that you're riding this wave. You're in flow. You're going through the motions. Whatever comes to you, whatever happens, you're just going with it. And what that's doing is, because you are in such flow right now, they're showing me that that's going to bring in all kinds of positive things coming around. Abundance, I keep seeing abundance, and abundance is more than just financial abundance. Abundance can be, having an abundance of friends and colleagues and family and joyous occasions, anything that you think of around abundance, because it's all flowing to you. You're sitting on top, and you're kind of looking down on everything. So not quite a bird's eye perspective, but you seem to be looking above it all, and that's not like in a egotistical kind of way. You're just taking it all in. You're viewing it from a higher perspective. You're showing me that you're kind of narrowing and zooming down on your work. You're just taking it all in. I feel like there's some changes and there's some things going on at work, but you're just kind of standing back and observing and saying, okay, what do I need to know about all of this? And what steps, if any, do I need to take? Does that make sense to you?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay. Hang on just a minute. Lisa, one of the other things that I'm getting is I'm getting that you really like to be out in nature. I'm seeing a lot of flowers. Even like that you like to garden. That seems to be kind of your spot, that you can just forget about everything and dig in the dirt and ground into Mother Earth. And so this is something that you want to continue in your life, because when you do that, you become this expanded, energetic being. just where that flow that I was talking about earlier, where that flow just comes in, and you just start receiving. You start receiving joy. You start receiving love. You start receiving energetic information during this time. You are very much an empath, and you can feel the energy. You can feel the energy around you. You're that type of person that somebody can walk into a room and you know immediately energy that person is giving off, right? Whether it's happy or sad or whatever that is, and you can feel that. And so, again, by going back to Mother Earth and getting into nature, those things are going to come to you more openly, and they're going to flow through you more easily.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Have you? I'm just getting. Have you done any kind of healing, energetic healing, or Reiki, or anything like that? Have you dabbled in any of that?
Not really, but I do understand that. I'm a little bit of a healer, maybe.
Yeah. Right, because I'm really picking up on that you are, that you're a healer. Again, this digging in the dirt, you're giving back to Mother Earth. You're giving back to the environment. You're healing through your hands, and it's a magical thing that you have. I'm also seeing a lot. Do you have interest in astrology? Because I keep hearing astrology. Have you dabbled in astrology at all?
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
Okay. That's why I'm picking up on that. There's a big sense of astrology, and like there's this pull for that, for you to get into that a little bit more. Whether you just do it for fun, or whether you try to do it as like a second career, but there's this ability that you've got this natural ability and knack to be able to put all those things together. You're very, very good at it. So I would continue on, looking into that piece of it as well.
Okay.
You just have a real beauty and a real magic to you. I just have to say, I really like your energy. It's just very soft and very flowing and very genuine. You probably get a lot of people coming up to you and telling you that their life story.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's that healing, again, it's that healing nature about you. It's that empathic nature about you, that compassion. They don't know why that they are drawn to you, but they are very much drawn to you. You have a very bright light. You attract all these very special people, people who need help, people who need compassion. And there you are. You're giving it, you're emitting it, without even really thinking about it. So it is just a really beautiful thing. And Lisa, we are coming down to our last few seconds of the show. So I want to say thank you so much for calling in and giving me the opportunity to give you a reading.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. I hope you have a wonderful day.
Thank you very much. You too.
Okay, bye. Well, that does it for us. Another Thursday in the books. Thank you again for tuning in to A1R Psychic Radio on Ask One Radio. You can catch me over on my Facebook page at Julie Yeager Walker Medium, or Your Time to Shine Facebook page, or I have a website, www.wingsofsoulswithjulie.com. I hope you all have a fantastic night. See you next week.
A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, Enlightening Television. Welcome.
Time for Avid Advice Live with Fia Johansson. Live from AvidAdviceLive.com.
Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/Psychic Radio, or one of our websites, askoneradio.com or moonstruck.tv.
This is Avid Advice Live
on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
There is somebody's mom here. She directed to you right now.
Theo is actually channeling my mother.
I have her right now with me.
She passed away 3 years ago.
She says, "Forgive me."
Hearing from my mom was amazing.
What she told you before, 3 days before she passed?
That she loves me and that she'll see me soon.
She's directing me another woman in the room. Please.
My grandmother was my mentor growing up.
There's 2 women that directed by her right now. You and her. She's talking about the man that she was concerned, and she's still concerned, and she asked for forgiveness for that man as well.
The man that she brought forward to forgive, that's my brother.
She's telling you to stop being weak. Bring more confidence into your life.
You know, we're all at different points in our lives. We've all been through different experiences, traumas, excitements, joy.
She's proud of you. You're quick on something. You stopped something that was very hard for you to do.
You wouldn't think that 10 years ago that I was addicted to drugs.
She says, "I'm proud of you. Continue."
I never stopped asking the universe to show me the way.
She's talking about your pain. Let it go.
I don't have to have that story anymore. I don't have to hold on to the story of my pain, of my past, of my trauma. Today, I can let it go.
Let it go! She said, "Can you forgive me?"
Yes.
Say goodbye to all things that could stop you to succeed, to feel good, to connect with your soul. Say yes high.
Yes.
Loud.
Yes.
Louder.
Yes.
She's asking you, can you forgive that person? She's directing someone else. She's directing a man. She's directing someone. Can you forgive that person? Can you forgive that person for her? Loud.
Yes, I forgive him.
Why you do forgive him? She want to know.
I forgive him for myself.
You are worthy enough to do everything for yourself. Not for anybody else, for yourself.
I know that takes a lot from her, but she gives. And she gives and she gives.
She's asking you to be strong, to be powerful, to be connected to your soul. You don't need anyone's affection and approval to be perfect. You are already perfect. Believe in yourself.
Yes.
Just say, yes, I do believe in myself.
Yes, I do believe in myself.
Louder.
Yes, I do believe in myself.
Louder.
Yes, I do believe in myself. And I believed in her. We're all from Brooklyn, New York, so there was a very Jewish Italian community there where people's homes were open and they would intermingle and share their faiths, share their food.
She's talking about backyard. She's talking about the trees. She's talking about dishes. She's talking about the chicken. She's talking about the chair. She's talking about everything. Please direct her what she's trying to say.
Hannah's house.
Yes, my mom's house. We all lived together. I mean, they lived there with my mom and my dad. They were always together. We were always together, always cooking. She actually made a better chicken parmesan than my mother.
Yeah, hers was better. But don't tell her that.
Yeah, don't tell my mom that.
Don't tell Nana.
There is a power in sadness. There is a power in pain. And the power comes when you overcome it.
Talking to her really, really helped me, I think. It's definitely gonna kind of just clear my mind of all the negative thoughts that I had.
Hello.
My father, Congressman Ron Dellums, who passed away a year and a half ago, visited FIA.
Today was a day to remember Ron Dellums, who in 1970 brought to Congress an anti-war and anti-apartheid stance that was branded as radical and dangerous.
Oh my God. He's asking, do you remember my hand?
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember what I told you?
Yeah.
Do you remember why I told you?
Yeah.
Dellums' youngest daughter, Piper, is proud that her father became an early voice against oppression in South Africa, applying pressure that would one day bring an end to apartheid.
You said, take my legacy, take my mantle. You're the smartest person I know. Go into the world and heal the land and do it in your way.
You know, Ron never gave up. He never became bitter. He loved people.
This is not my hand, this is your dad. He wanted you to tell again, louder, louder and clear, what he told you.
I'm passing you my mantle, I'm passing you my anointing, I'm passing it to you. You're the smartest one that I know. Run. There's so much work to be done. Run, run, run and heal the world, and don't stop. Do it in your way. Run, baby girl. Do it in your way.
So she spoke into me like a sister, but also like an angel.
He said, I saw you when you cried in front of that candle. Why did you cry?
She's given me the faith and trust and support that was being given me by my dad before he left. So she's done this beautiful transition of allowing me not to feel the void of his leaving.
I don't know where to go when I'm not speaking with you, or I just don't know how to feel safe in the world without you in it.
In the area where I don't have a female in my life, because I don't have a relationship with my mother and I don't have a sister. She has stepped in with the feminine to remind me that I am also loved and purposeful and beautiful and worthy, that I'm valuable.
It's not just me that tried to basically sending you messages and changing her. So she changed me in so many ways as well.
So our silly song goes this way. We are the key to do more than just let it be. The key to our destiny is in the hands of our humanity. His love is more than a philosophy. 'Cause we are the key.
We are the key.
We are the
but
key.
Diamond's key.
For centuries, it's believed that mediums have been able to mediate communication between spirits of the dead and living human beings. People usually recruit mediums to help them get in contact with family members or friends who have passed on. But celebrity psychic Fiona Johansson is also using her abilities to help law enforcement solve cold cases and help exonerate and free innocent inmates. And Fiona is joining us now. Fiona, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. How are you doing today?
We're so excited to have you. So
awesome.
Tell me, Fiona, when did you realize you had this gift?
I was at the age of 7. It was a hot summer. A friend of mine came to my house and we had fun. We played. And 3 hours later, when they want to go home, I said, please don't, because I see visions, I see colors, and I see that you guys definitely going to have a car crash. Well, of course, at that time, nobody listened to me because they didn't know exactly what I have. But 3 hours later, our phone rang and they had a car crash. And from that moment, it took 4 years for me to realize why I see things before they happened, why I feel things before people talk about to me, and then why did people communicating through me when they want justice or something about their life.
So Fiona, tell me, how did you get involved with law enforcement?
I was at the age of 17. It was back in Europe. So basically, they engaged me in a couple cold cases, and I could help them to find murder or border cases, and also I helped them to achieve and put all the puzzles together through the colors, visions, names, and of course, spirit talking to me by themselves. Like example, 2 years ago, Coast Guard communicated and said, we have a missing pilot. And I said, I know exactly where they are. But they said, we are in Catalina coast and we are looking after, well, we are not, finding them. I said, well, we are guys in the wrong place. The moment that they said they are missing, I said, they both dead. He immediately connected and says, how did you know it was two? Because it was one student pilot and the other one the instructor. And then he said the student pilot mentioned exactly where he is, and that's why they are dead, because I am just communicating with dead people when it comes to my mediumship. So 40 minutes later, they sent me a helicopter, and then right after, we found the stress signals that belong to that helicopter or that plane.
That's incredible. Fiona, can you walk me through the process when you're presented with a case at first?
When I actually starting to look into the cold cases and murder cases, again, it was the spirit that directly communicated through me. So, and when I started, I was 17. Law enforcement communicated to me and said, like, are you ready to get engaged with that case? And when I felt I'm ready, I said, yes, I am. And all of a sudden, all the names, images, visions, and things come through. Incredible. And then through that, I understood that when I'm asking, or there's someone asking about some name, and I don't even know about, I should not know anything about their name, I should not know anything about their genders. All I know is the communication that I have together with that law enforcement or, police or officers just tell me, we have a missing persons. We have some baby boy was like 4 years old that been missing for kind of 5 hours. I'm directly connected to the energies, and I pick up the energies through that officers that communicating through phone. So I shouldn't be in a place or be around that families or touching that families or communicating with that families.
Fiona, let's talk about a specific case about R&B singer Jamal Truelove, who spent more than 6 years in prison for a 2007 murder. He was eventually acquitted in 2015 when a jury found that the two officers had fabricated evidence. Tell us about your involvement in that case.
Well, the way that I involved in this case, it was that we got through a couple actually friends, and when they reached out to me, I said, I reacted immediately that this guy is innocent and he shouldn't really be in jail. And they said at that time that they can't do anything about it because, already all the evidence is against. And I said, well, he will come out, but not now. There is a timing that I can see and I'm predicting, and this time is all about like in between 5 to 7 years. And they couldn't really believe at that moment because they felt, oh my God, it's kind of very, saddest because we should really get him out. And if you said that it's going to be 5 to 7 years, that actually really make us to feel very uncomfortable and disappointed. And I said, it's the time. And through that time, I communicated with Jamal in jail and trying to let him to understand about his own value and he's not innocent, which he knew already. And I said, manifest, and try to manifestation, get yourself out from the jail and make impossible be impossible and show it to everybody. And that's exactly what he did.
Absolutely fascinating. Fiona Johansson, psychic investigator. Fiona, thanks so much for being on the show.
Welcome back to the Global Entrepreneurship Initiative. I'm excited to introduce our next speaker, Ms. Fiona Johansson, who's better known as the Persian medium and subconscious mind surgeon. She's a multi-talented motivational speaker, clinical hypnotherapist, and celebrity psychic medium. An author who works closely with law enforcement to help locate missing people and solve difficult criminal cases with detectives and as well as private investigators. Throughout her career, she's helped thousands of people identify personal roadblocks to help them truly believe in their own path to success. success, whatever that dream may be. Her greatest passion in life is helping others achieve their ultimate dreams and desires, teaching people to believe that truly anything is possible. Please help me welcome to the stage Ms. Fia Johansson.
Well, hello everyone. I love the spirit in this room. Really, I do. You guys having amazing spirits, which actually helping millions of people so far. As Nick said, my name is Fia Johansson. I'm a medium and subconscious mind surgeon. I will share a couple of my stories of my life, which both kind of funny, at the same time a little bit hurtful, but good to know about how the medium could feel sense as a person. I was at the age of 7.5 when I found that I have some sort of power. Of course, first it was kind of odd, a little bit difficult to understand myself, and I kind of like felt something is not correct with me because I could see, feel, and sense things before things happened. I went to my mom and asked, "What's wrong with me?" "Nothing, you're good." "Should I take you to the doctor?" "No, I don't know, but I can feel and sense that something crazy is going to happen to my grandma," example. "Something is going to happen to my uncle," and all this stuff. However, they're trying to tell me to don't say anybody when you feel and sense something bad is going to happen to them, because I don't wanted them to be scared and see that we should not be even near them. I says, okay, at the age of 7.5, I should just like not saying anything and just relax. At the age of 11, I found one of the most hurtful untruths about my life, which was completely true. I found out that my grandma, who actually I knew and I felt as a mom, is just my grandma and not my mom. My grandpa was my grandpa and not my father. My uncles, they never been my brothers and they've been just my uncles. And my mom, not ever been my sister, and she always been my mother. But this truth been always held and hidden by my family until my grandma passed away. Before that, I had a life as a princess, spoiled completely, and they would definitely give me anything and everything that I want. After she passed, I figured I don't have anyone anymore. My mom is too young. I don't have no feelings as a daughter and mother connections. I feel completely lost, and I found myself, what should I do now? I do have some gift that could help me so far, but should I just like push myself down and see that, oh, this is a trauma, I have to just like be depressed, now I lost this and that, and I found the truth about my life? And I found about my father. Who is my father? Somebody. Where is he? Another country. Okay. I tell myself, get up, stop it right now. It doesn't matter which family you had. It doesn't matter what they told you. It doesn't matter what happened. What it matters right now is to open the new chapter in your life. And I will completely left alone by myself without anybody to taking care of myself. At the age of 14, I asked my uncle, who left Iran to Stockholm, Sweden, if there is possibility to take me there. He said, maybe or maybe not, but I will do my best. 3 months later, I felt and I sensed I will be there. I'm not belonging in this country anymore, and I don't want to. I went to Sweden, Stockholm, and waited that my uncle is going to come and pick me up. Nobody showed up. Gosh, again, I'm here. My uncle is not here, and I don't even know that language. I couldn't speak English. Nothing. Okay. Then, Miss Fia, you are here with nobody again. So what happened? I tell myself, you are deaf and you are blind. Deaf and blind. What a deaf and blind person can do? I can't talk to anybody, I can't see anything, but I have to activate some other power inside of my body again at the age of 14. So I tried to communicate with people, tried to talk or communicate with some officers and ask about, like, where am I? I know that I'm in Stockholm, but I don't even know where to go. So basically, I found some hotel and stay there and just like think about like what happened with my uncle. So I found out that he had a car crash almost a couple hours before that he went to come and pick me up. So they take 1 month for me and for him to recover, to come out after coma and come and find me. So in 1 month, I was left over in a country with the minus 30 degrees. I mean it, minus 30 degrees. And I'm not joking. I could feel that I can't breathe sometimes, but I could have a lot of, ice in my nose and my ears and everything. Whatever I felt, you know what? Fia, you do have a power. Trust yourself, believe in yourself, build the new chapter. Again, this is your second chapter in another country. So I prayed, I connect to my divine, I sense, and all of a sudden, 3 families, without even knowing who they are, what they are up to, they reach out to me out of nowhere. How? I went out to the Starbucks, but basically there is no Starbucks. It was something, looked like or similar to Starbucks, and saw some lady that's sitting there and crying. I went and said, well, I can't speak. What should I say? Okay, the only things that I can do is a love language. Maybe I should hug her. Maybe I should just say, I'm here. And it was a Swedish girl, of course, blondie, and I'm kind of like a black hair. Well, maybe she's going to get scared a little bit. But I was like, don't worry about it. Just go and get it done. So I did that. And she hugged me so hard. Was like, what's going on? What's happened to you? She's starting to talk. I couldn't understand. Barely nothing. Swedish language? Come on, guys. You guys don't want to even learn. It's very difficult and very hard. I said, okay, let's just continue and continue. I felt and see that she lost the baby, or actually the baby was missed in the past of almost 4 years. And she basically went to the family and asked questions about where can I go? How can I find? Because it was in another state, and they come back to the Stockholm, and then she all of a sudden just break down. I said, I can help you. I feel where the baby is, or somehow I can see the baby. They didn't understand what I'm saying. I was like, oh my gosh, what should I say? It's like translating. I do remember that day. So basically after almost 2 hours, some Persian family, who they could actually speak my language, finally Persian, so they could understand exactly what I'm talking, because they've been closest friend to that Swedish family. My career started at the age of 14 in Stockholm. Just 2 months after, I landed in this minus 30 degrees of country. So my point is, whatever I had in my life, I always been thankful and grateful. I never said why I don't. I never said why me. I never said how. I always say, come on, get up, find a way, go, that's it. So never give up. And I always learn myself, don't be logic, be biologic. Because that's the only way you can feel and sense yourself and others. Always send love and receive love. Never give up about your goals. And of course, the first month, because I did not have enough money, I left with almost 120 crackers and waters. And it's possible. As a human, we can live with 120 crackers and water every day, which I did because I did not have money, no place to go, countries with no language. Then after that, I feel like I have to build my company. I built my company almost 3 years later. It was about $4.5 million company with almost 55 Swedish employees. And what I did that, not just helping police officers and private investigators and all this stuff. I did this because I felt that Swedish people rejected me one after each other. Why? Because I'm come from another country. I said, you know what? I make a decision now. I am going to build my own company, and you are going to pick me to hire you. This is me now, Fia Johansson. So now I'm not going to be a blondie lady, but I'm going to be the black hair lady with a lot of power of will. So my will power make my company became super successful back in Stockholm. Almost 8 years ago, I felt that I have to move to America. I find my love of my life. And when I come here, I felt, okay, you left your country, the way that you love, basically after so many years, and now you want to just start from scratch. So I knew about 5 languages already, but my English was not good at all. So I couldn't barely speak English. I was like, okay, start it again, Miss Via. Now this time, maybe English is much easier than and faster than Swedish. So that was all I had. And now I have over $5.5 million, almost $6 million company, and actually have over 250 employees worldwide that are working for me in America. So everything is possible, even you don't know about the language. So remember that deaf and blind always will help you and send love and passion to yourself and anything and everything you want. Everything is possible. Naturally to me, I never decided for any of those messages. The only responsibility that I have is that I have to deliver the messages.
What was your reading like with Persian Media? Oh my God, I love her. So I actually had a moment with her when she was walking in. She came by our table for water, and it was just like, oh, that's how I felt.
Are you gonna come back for more? Oh yeah.
You're not even leaving. It was all kind of things I kind of knew. I felt intuitively guided. It's nice to feel her tap into those deeper places and I guess reveal hidden places that I sense and feel, but have her kind of present them.
She said, I'm going to meet a man who's going to come right to me. It's been quite a while, and if that happens, I'm going to be in huge debt to her.
This was a great reading today because it lifts my spirit. Spirits have been depressed for a while because of adverse happenings going on. I'm very pleased about that.
I went to her workshop yesterday and it was awesome. Yes, and I got her book, so I'm excited about that.
Well, this is the only reading I've done, and it's the only reading I would do, and it's because I just know that.
She told me things that I already knew, and then she also told me things that I was surprised with. Like she could read me, like things I was in denial of. She was actually reading what I was in denial of. So it was wonderful. It was happening.
I didn't say a word. She just knew exactly how I felt about it.
You know, she's absolutely right. So it's kind of like you have the answers inside somewhere, and she kind of validated what I was thinking.
If you're a person that's trying to, make your sense or see your sensualities in your emotion, your vision, imagination, your subconscious mind, get close to that power, then you can see, feel, and connect to the spirit.